Wow. What's up, everybody?
How are you?
Turn that epic music off.
I forgot which button did it, and I was reading a text message at the same time.
Oh, my God.
There you go. Okay.
Off to a great start. Brian's not here. None of the rest of us know how to open this damn show. What's up, everybody? You're watching Worcestery Council Theater 3000. And
Bill, since we have no idea what we're doing, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So now that we're getting into warmer summer, warmer season, I'm going to assume you're going to start smoking outside more often. If you were smoking outside in the same spot every day, and you knew, but you just didn't care that it was like right underneath your neighbor's windows, like what would your reaction be if like your neighbor just started casually coming outside with like a hose, didn't say a word, and just like sprayed you in the face while you're smoking the cigarette, and like went casually turned the hose off and went back inside? No words spoken. Let's assume it's like a middle-aged guy with a touch of cauliflower ear and just kind of like a little bit of a weird edge to him.
I would be stunned at first, but then I'd be like, probably I deserve that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
that's my plan for this summer with my neighbors. Is I'm just gonna bring out the hose. I don't think communicating has any real use anymore. Like words just aren't working. So
yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah. What are words going to do what water can't?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do we have tonight? What do we have?
Word on the street has a lot of shit in it.
It's got a lot of shit in it. Off the bat, just kind of want to say quickly, the fucking kidnapping of the Columbia.
Oh yeah.
The Columbia grad student and activist Mahmoud Khalil is like probably the scariest thing that's happened so far with this Trump administration, and it is so fucked up. And some calls, emails to McGovern and company would be a good idea. I don't know if there's any local demonstrations planned, but hopefully there are. And I'll be sharing news about that as it comes in. But I just wanted to say off the top that that's
some dystopian shit.
It is an entirely new precedent to use evictions for use the deportation process for purely ideological reasons. No crime committed, not even the pretense of a crime. And
did you catch the announcement?
Green card holder. So
did you catch the announcement about this 2 weeks ago? Because I think that context is important, and I don't feel like it got a lot of play. But Marco Rubio acknowledged publicly that the State Department is currently using an AI tool, presumably one that came from our friends at Doge, specifically to screen social media. And match up green card holders with loud pro-Palestinian voices, or what they're terming generally to be anti-American voices. And look, beyond that, like I don't have any experience with this round of protests, but I can tell you as somebody who was around during the kind of goofy but still Wall Street days back after the market collapse. It gets really fucking weird when dudes in suits start showing up at people's doors. At that point in time, like there really wasn't a lot of social media, so it didn't get a lot of play. Even when here locally, like dudes in suits were showing up at people's doors just to ask, like, what are you really all about? When you skip right to bagging people, that's some really fucking dystopian shit, man. Like you're already really far down the ride, and ain't no ass can get off at this point.
Yeah. But anyway, to the shit that
Eagles.
To the shit we can't. What, Eagles?
Yeah, bald eagles, bro. That's what tonight's about.
Oh yeah, you're so right.
Order about bald eagles and protecting their roost.
I'll throw down my life on the line for that fucking bald eagle.
For freedom.
Yeah, America. You know, bald eagles are the most perfect American bird because they're basically just large seagulls. And they have a hilariously weak sounding call that has to get edited out in movies with that of a red-tailed hawk. Very funny.
100%.
But I'm glad that the bald eagles are making a comeback and that we have some bald eagles. My house is on a hill, so I can see some bald eagles sometimes majestically flying above Indian Lake.
Yeah.
Tonight's agenda. What do we have? We have a battle of the heritage months. We have Kenny Merrill Carlson wants the city to declare March for Women's History Month. Kate Toomey wants Irish History Month. Brendan, do you remember that? It was the best night of streaming of my entire life when we discovered that Kate Toomey liked that tweet about Irish being the first slaves.
Yeah. That's I haven't seen. So again, I'm not on Facebook these days. Has that one started circulating again yet?
I haven't.
It's usually
seen
around this time of year when somebody decides that it's important to conflate chattel slavery with indentured servitude.
Yeah. Hopefully Kate Toomey does it on the floor. That'd be great.
Would love that.
Kate Toomey also has an order on the agenda to fly the Irish flag in front of City Hall from March 17th to March 18th. March 18th is the day that Joe Petty called for the special meeting on the DOJ report. So Kate Toomey wants the Irish flag flying outside of City Hall while inside the 90% Irish American police department is going to be answering for its various sex crimes committed under the tenure of an Irish American police chief. So that's awesome. Good job, Kate.
Very proud.
Yeah, definitely not an
Am I
accident.
hearing anti-Irish racism?
Yes, you
Excuse
are.
me.
Hey, it's okay.
I
can do that.
I won't stand for this. I'll stand for a lot of kinds of racism, but not anti-Irish American racism. The worst kind there is.
The only kind, actually.
This month of all months, Bill.
Bryan, you look incredible in glasses.
I was gonna say, when did Smart Bryan show up?
Yeah, I became a nerd recently.
Smart
You look
Bryan.
great in them, dude.
I
didn't know that you and Jenny went to Warby Parker together.
I wish I need to go to Warby Parker. These glasses look terrible on me.
No, those are great.
No,
Get a
they're
yellow
good.
tint on those, man. No one will ever fuck with you again.
Oh shit! I should get a yellow tint on.
You look like you know things about the Bears.
The Bears?
The Bears.
You look like you're about to show what happens when a stranger fucks you in the ass.
when you find a stranger in the Alps.
No, Bill, those men are nihilist.
Yeah, I don't like wearing glasses. I think they're not fit for me correctly. I can't. Everything looks weird.
We call that clear.
Yeah, maybe that's what. Yeah, I feel like I'm wearing VR glasses, and the depth perception's not right. I keep reaching for things.
Where'd you get the glasses from?
From VisionWorks in Shrewsbury.
Okay.
I am going to go to Warby Parker at some point. They have much cooler glasses there. But this is all they had for quote unquote XL faces. So,
you'll do much better at Warby Parker. I feel like all their glasses are made for giant heads.
Yeah.
I have the hardest
You
time
know why?
buying them.
Big heads book, baby. That's what it is. We're stars. Sorry I'm late, everybody. How are you guys doing?
Oh, we're great. We had it totally on lock without you, and
All right, I'll take off. All right, I'll see. I'm sorry. I missed
your
you.
vibe.
Oh,
Okay, good afternoon. Good evening,
and
everyone.
away
Welcome to Worcester City Council
we
meeting.
go.
Here. Oh,
It's all right.
I'm restarting so I can get the closed captions.
oh, we need those closed captioning. We need to see what they're saying when we're talking about all the food we ate this week instead.
Oh, fucking
Yeah. So, we're talking DOJ again tonight.
Nope.
I thought it's not on there. All right.
No,
then
they're having a special meeting on the 18th for the DOJ.
Oh, sick. So we're talking Eagle Houses tonight.
Eagle Houses, Irish History Month.
Oh, yeah.
And what do we have? We have hilarious report on the open meeting law complaint that Steve Quist and Nicole Apostol had filed, definitely without Joe Petty asking them to, for 100% sure that Joe Petty didn't ask them to file that. And the law department was like, nah, it wasn't an open meeting law violation.
Good.
Which is awesome because Joe Petty led with that in that incendiary statement, if you'll remember, after King announced for mayor.
Oh yeah.
So, and he called it an illegal meeting, and it just, or not an illegal meeting, like an illegal government action or whatever. So,
An illegal boycott against Tesla.
yeah, right. And then we have a report on Rule 14 that I didn't read yet.
Is that the challenging the mayor's ruling thing?
No, that's on there too. I need to just
That's
open
on
the
there.
agenda.
There's one about public comment time. Municipal ops is basically saying spiking the idea of expanding public comment time for each individual speaker from 2 to 5 minutes. Which was a petition from January.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy about that. 2 minutes is enough.
Here.
Yes,
Here.
yes, exactly. Yeah, that's
Councilmember Carlson.
the one where I think we will all be aligned on that one.
Here. Council Pixola.
Hi, Sally. We
Council
can't hear
Russell.
us, but hi.
Here. Council
Everyone,
Toomey.
type hi,
Here.
Sally, in the
Councilmember
in the chat.
Hey.
Approve of the minutes. All those in favor? Opposed, so ordered.
They got the clock
Public
already, right?
participation, the
I thought
person
they
may
showed it
speak
off
no
at
more
one of
than
those
2
earlier
minutes.
meetings.
Yeah, they showed it off at the last subcommittee meeting, our municipal ops, but no
Thank you, Mr.
clock.
Mayor. Rule 39, items of public interest. At
Maybe
every
they
meeting of
borrowed it
City
from one of the high
Council,
schools and they're
under
waiting
the
to get
public
their own.
participation portion of the agenda, the chair shall recognize any person seeking such recognition for the purpose of addressing the city council on any eligible item on the agenda, for that meeting,
Hiss.
both in person and remotely.
Nico, you little lap
Any
dog.
person who wishes to speak for more than
Nico, who does that
one
phone
item on
call?
the agenda shall combine their testimony on all items to one appearance at the microphone. The time for speaking shall not exceed 2 minutes for any one speaker or 30 minutes for all
I
speakers.
wish.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I've seen like LA has like a
Fred Nathan
like a green, yellow, red.
9A.
So like you
That's a
know when
good
you have 20
chance
seconds
order
left, you know you when you have
to,
10 seconds
to
left, and you
look
know when
into
you're
the
done.
conduct of people coming in here
Joe
to-
Petty just needs to flash
talk.
his flashlight like you guys
Wonder
do at the
how long that
comedy
will take.
shows.
Yeah.
For,
Just
to
hold your
hear
phone up, pull your hand away,
9A
and then from the stage you go.
on any parking lots where they could potentially build housing. 'cause
Oh, that's
if there
good.
are
I like
parking
that.
lots, they're not
Makes jobs.
being
Someone's gonna have to
utilized.
sweep all it up and stuff it
That's
back in the
another good
cannon.
idea.
I could be a
Recycle it.
confetti guy. I could be the confetti guy. Or if they or slimes them if they say what.
10
You're the guy with the broom at the end of the Mr. Peabody parade.
about the again about housing.
Everyone excited for the roast of
Ideas
Worcester on Friday?
And hopefully
Yeah, baby.
they're
Yeah.
not just going to be ideas
I'm
that something
so
will actually
excited.
happen with them.
I got a
Already
couple
was
jokes that are right on the line. Oh my
Yeah.
god,
Having
right on the
Can't
line.
B, just to remind people
Yep.
that
Can't wait.
This month is Irish
I'm just gonna
American
destroy
Heritage
Doug
Month.
Arbiter. I think that's gonna be my
Oh.
that's my target this year.
Oh, I got a good Doug. I'm not gonna give it away.
Yeah,
Um,
no.
I think he planned
But
that.
I got a good Doug one.
All right, I'm just here to talk about 2 items. So 7A.
What's John's
Fire
shirt?
is, looking for yet
I think it
another-
says I'm weird.
These are things
It says
that are
I'm weird.
normally just kinda
That's-
rolling through. Just want to remind you
Yeah.
that we're now
Self-evident
14 years
shirt.
in
It's
Yeah.
a weird shirt to
them,
wear.
Own it,
stealing
baby.
From our senior citizens and disabled folks.
I
and
did
never,
mention last week
giving it
that
back. City
whoever
managers
donates the most
negotiating with
money
them, and,
gets
they
to
just
say a swear on the
continuously
mic.
Disrespect you guys. And, sometimes
So
the
anyone
only
from
way
the
to get
audience, if you want
companies
to
listen
go
is
to
if you
our
hold up the
Eventbrite
money.
and buy a ticket,
And
it's
so
donation
often
based.
some of these
Whoever donates the most
conduit
money can say a swear on the
applications, they should
on
be
the
held.
on the mic.
I would consider
So
having
sick.
a counselor hold that. And the second item that I want to talk about is 9A from the municipal committee. I support this.
What didn't he do?
This this chairman's order, but in particular, when the city manager provides the report through the city solicitor,
We don't need a
there are
reason to
several
be.
rules
He did do that.
operates under that have not been challenged
He'll have a chance to answer. That's the beauty of hosting a roast, is you can decide whether or not you roast the person before or after they go up.
It's true. I swear to God, if anybody says one mean thing about me, I will cry, throw a fit, and leave.
And so we should review it
We got your writer.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people pushing for
No one's allowed to say anything mean about me. No one has ever said anything mean about me in history.
Yeah. It's actually Brendan's job on Friday night is to do Brazilian jiu-jitsu on anyone that's mean to Bill.
Cool. Yes. I nominate Brendan as my champion.
Say it.
I don't think we need that. There are other locations that could be.
Worcester sucks, and then immediately grabbed by the collars and then rolled. Hey, thanks, Eric. 14-month resub.
Thank goodness.
Damn, player.
We're gonna be around that long?
You want to come on and say a swear?
I do hope that it'll be published in the Telegram.
I'm just gonna give Ben shit for wearing cum themed shirts all the time.
Since there's a
That's gonna be most of my.
I think the public need to know ASP as soon as possible so that they can plan on coming and make the change.
Coming.
Thank you.
Eh?
Wait. Ben White wears cum themed shirts?
He's got several
Residence and item number.
cum themed shirts.
No.
And it's not that I don't. I get a kick out of it, but it's wild.
Yeah.
Chamber of Commerce.
I don't like
I'm
it.
here tonight on item 10F.
I mean, it's 311 Day, so we come original tonight.
Oh, it is 311 Day. I've posted about it several times. How did I forget to open with that?
Investigate 311.
On the current prescription benefit management agreement.
Amber is the color of my
This
energy.
review is essential to ensuring the best practices are implemented and that proper steps are taken to control costs for our city's employees and retirees. Prescription benefit managers, also known as PBM, are originally designed to lower drug costs, but their business practices now urgently require reform. Instead of reducing expenses, PBMs have increasingly contributed to the rising cost of prescriptions, making the affordable medications less accessible. This has resulted in higher out-of-pocket expenses
Why are we talking about
for
medication
consumers
prices?
and increased public funding
I
required.
did not do a very good
to
job
cover,
reading the agenda
inflated
this week, I just have to say.
PBMs charge for
Yeah.
prescriptions. And in a 2024 report, the U.S. Fair Trade Commission found that PBMs impose
Oh,
significant
Joe Petty has an
market
order on
on
about
critical specific drugs.
Prescription benefit
being used to cure
management.
cancer and HIV.
which is
The report
I don't
highlighted the
know what
three
the city hall
largest
has to do with that at
PBMs,
all. But
control almost 80% of the market. And
I think-
apply
I like to
price
think the
markups
chamber,
on
like,
hundreds of
grows
thousands % on these drugs.
These guys, like they're Urukai.
In an era of tightening
Yes!
budgets, the city must
Birthed
ensure
from the
that it is
mud?
implementing
Yeah.
best practices
Mud
possible
pods.
to manage
Oh yeah.
benefit
Hey, listen,
costs.
the roast isn't the
Um,
only
and this
like
report, that will be
anti-Worcester
responsible
thing
for
going
the
on
city
this
manager
weekend.
will,
Yeah.
provide
Saturday
crucial
night at
insight
Hotel Vernon.
on whether Worcester's PBMs
this is a great
Still a
great
interests of the city's
a great
Worcesters,
weekend for
businesses, as well as
cool
residents.
Worcester stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah. Joe Petty better not leave his fucking house this weekend.
What does this
Yeah.
mean?
What's your name and say your residence?
Sure. David Webb, City of Worcester.
This?
I'm here
Nothing.
on
What
a
is
few
the
things, but
maximalist
starting with,
pure-
22
Purim.
R,
There's a
request for
it's
reports
a
concerning what
there's
kinds
a
of
show.
political
It's like
signage
kind of
and
like
messaging
a
are allowed to be displayed at public meetings.
what would
It's
you
I don't see
it's
that on this agenda.
so
Through the chair to
so
Councilor
Purims
Signage
are
changes
like
here.
a
Things have
Jewish
been the same way for
tradition
your 14 years for a reason, and the city needs to
and
get
that
past
involves
complacency
some
with the problematic
stagecraft.
status quo.
That's
Okay.
that's about as much as I know about it.
Encourage
But
A pageant,
this
some
Purim
costumes.
Respect for the larger Worcester
involves
communities
a
to step down.
theatrical
But
satire
through the chair to the
of Worcester
administration,
politics,
let's
with
take a moment
complete with
to appreciate that a city
uh,
councillor, citing only how
characters,
long he's been one,
both
asked for the
real
mayor to use
and
his power as
metaphysical.
chair to
I've
prevent
seen
political
the
signs
script.
in response to a sign that
It's
said
a
Worcester
lot.
change.
It's awesome. I'm
Let
not going
Bill
to give
figure
anything
that
away,
out.
but
Said
it's
limiting
really
signage
cool.
Again, I think it cost the city
It's
enough
very
last
exciting. We're very excited that we didn't plan on them being on the
I
same
am in
weekend. It
support
just
of
worked
this
out
item,
Yeah.
amazingly.
this is
So
used to address the unconstitutional
It sounds cool as hell.
and inconsistent
yeah, it's
application
gonna
of
be
rules.
very exciting. So
As we
do both.
discussed
Go to
At
both.
the last municipal operations meeting, as everything is currently written, If Mayor Petty, as chair of the meeting, determines under Rule 14 that you all have to do the
Going back to
check-ins,
last
then you
week's
don't,
conversation about
then you're in
Dylan, why is
violation of
David
the
Webb
rules.
doing the homesick blues
As
thing
we
with
also established at that meeting,
cardboard
you
signs here?
all of you have the power
Dude.
to challenge the determination of the chair.
because
meeting, I asked
his
for a
whole
report
thing
on
is
how many
just to
times that has happened
seize
in the
in
past
on
decade,
myopic
and the
personal
clerk
beefs
intervened
and
to object,
use the
and the
bully
chair
public
refused to request
public
that
comment
motion.
to further them,
I am wondering how many times in the past
masquerading
decade
as political
anyone
praxis.
here has challenged Mayor Petty. Thank you.
Interesting.
I'm reading it as coming in with Trump-like energy
Trench it.
from the left.
Charles Worcester,
He did
President.
urge everybody to buy Teslas today.
Who did?
David Webb. He had him lined up in front of his house.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just making fun of Trump.
Oh, I wish that was real. It is so real.
Can we really
The Elon Musk of Worcester.
getting some more supermarkets over there for our?
The camera is slightly different.
It's a very diverse community over there. Let's.
This is a shot we've seen before from from a different zoom, I think.
7 kids. That means those kids are our future.
I think they tend to give the upper
take a
third.
look at
Beck is
that.
usually really good about
And
just
I wanna
giving the
get
upper
back
third.
to something I
Upper-
said
yeah,
last
upper third.
week about the police and having a cadet program. The only
We a lot of times
person
see it from
that
the
police
from the
chief,
other
so I guess he's the
corner
only one that cares
as well.
about
Evidence.
police
Epic. We need
officers
pictures.
that we
Pictures in
have.
the chat or it didn't happen.
I agree with David. It's time for a change.
There is another corner. So there's cameras in both corners of the room, and so they do often get the other because we see that's how we saw the sign last week. But they've used this one as well.
So that
I was mostly just kidding.
They should figure out a way to do what we do and get like all the cameras up at once.
Thank you. I appreciate
the
it.
ARPA
Yeah.
funds.
Thank you.
Or the Polar Park funds.
Yep.
I would love that.
He was gonna do what?
Your name, see your residence, item number?
This guy rules.
My name is Gary Hunter. I live in District 5 in Worcester. I was asked to present
yeah.
item 9F. I was at a
Yeah, this guy
foreclosure
fucking kicks
on Granite
ass.
Street, and I'm talking about how they treat people.
Yeah, did
We
Bill
need
not
this
pull
meeting
papers this
because
year?
Not yet.
There were 6 police cars, and it's the third time they've talked about the constable who was there.
I have the list from
And
Friday.
He
I can put it in the
presented as
chat.
a police officer that he had the powers to the couple.
I
They
sent
were
an email
terrorized.
today, but
They
it was at like
they were
5:30,
working
so I
with the
think I
courts
missed the
to get
clerk
ownership
going
of the
home.
house.
Or the clerk employee that sends those lists out.
He had
So,
he told the owners that he will levy them and they will escort her out if she didn't voluntarily leave. That is, and he was wearing a gun. So I think that this is a very important subject, that we need to treat people by law and not intimidate, and also present yourself. And they're at a meeting right now, the foreclosure committee with the commission, with the police and safety board right now, and that's why they're not here. But it was intimidating when you have 1 constable and 6 police cars to a house with one person living there. And I think something has to be done with that by presenting to the committee.
Could we do this for just like one meeting, just to see what would happen? Mayor for
I
a
would
day
like to
thing.
speak in favor of 11A, support as Women's History Month.
can you take out
Important.
nomination
There's a lot of
papers for
strong
someone
women that
else?
have helped our city and our country.
Great question.
Like if I went
And
to the clerk's
11B,
office and I was like,
support and recognize
yeah,
the
I want
as
at-large
Irish
papers for
American
Fred Nathan.
Heritage Month.
And then I got 300 signatures. That
I
means
also
that Fred
wanted to
Nathan's on the
mention
ballot, right?
13A. And I think I
I mean,
brought
there's
this up before.
there's only one way to find out.
Only one way.
People make motions, and I would hope you would vote.
Not
on
illegal if you get
motions.
away
I
with
think
it.
People are afraid to vote. I've said this before.
Imagine I go up
So
to
I
Nico
table it,
and I go,
or they change one word in
yeah,
the
my
motion,
name's Fred
so they
Nathan,
don't have to actually vote on.
and I want to run for office. And Nico's just like,
It was brought up
okay.
also in the school committee. Changing a word can do wonders and make it ruin a motion. I think
Sure,
it
fuck
should
it.
be
This is the
required
least
if there's
annoying,
any way possible. I don't know.
this is the least
What I
annoying
do,
bullshit I'm dealing with
that-
today.
That every motion would
Sure,
at
Bill,
least
you
be
can do that.
voted
Just tell
on,
Brian to stop cutting me off in my
because if he's
driveway.
come up with a motion, it never comes up
Sure,
again.
Bill, you can be Fred. You're always cutting him off, huh?
No, he was cutting me out. We had a war going for a couple
Okay,
days. But
hearing's in order. The motion is to
Spike
open the
strips.
hearing. All those in
Oh my
favor,
God!
opposed, so
Look at
ordered.
that public comment already
6:48.
over.
To,
Wow.
We're cruising. We're cruising,
Permission to
boys.
type
An election
in
year.
condo
Still
location
light out.
Providence Street. Okay, we will close the hearing. Motion is to approve. All those in favor, opposed, so ordered.
Is that true?
Petitioners may speak to 3 minutes on the first time their items appears on the agenda. Joshua E. Smith, on behalf of Wolf Farm LLC, requests to amend zoning maps of the City of Worcester as referenced in Article 2, Section 2 of the City of Worcester zoning ordinance by changing the zoning designation of the properties identified below the current zoning designation of residence, single-family RS7 to RL7, as shown on the map that's been attached there too. So that's going to go to the planning board.
I watched that animated
favor?
movie Flow
Also ordered.
last night. It is
We have
so good. Oh my
Yeah,
God!
watch it.
E, refer to Public Works.
It's
All those in
amazing.
favor?
You know they animated that in a free program.
Really?
They use Blender. Which is
Wow.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
And I was assured that this was on the list of priorities. Just like to get our timeline on that. Folks are really frustrated, and it seems like we've gone back and forth with DPW.
I come every week.
for
Penn White is, we know that.
So if we can get a timetable on that, that would be great.
Okay, we'll send that to the manager. And 8C, D, and E to Public Works Committee. All those in favor,
Can't believe we don't have a
opposed, so
Panda
ordered.
Express in Worcester.
8F to 8J.
I'm okay with
Refer
that.
to traffic and parking.
Out of your damn mind,
Those in
dude.
favor, opposed, so
Panda Express
ordered.
rules.
We have Chairman's Orders 9A to 9R. Motions to adopt.
We can't
Those in
stream
favor,
from the
opposed,
studio.
so
From
ordered.
the,
Before we go to orders, we just
Yeah,
need one
I'll
more
probably
person,
be. I'll
Mr.
probably go in
Raleigh.
person for that one.
We'll have to wait to the end of the meeting. Maybe we'll just put them up now. if that's
For the
okay with
DOJ
council.
stuff?
Yeah.
We have an item on the.
Yeah, we'll definitely
There you
stream
go.
it.
Table under privilege, so I asked if we can move that to now. Communication to the manager, transmitting information, communication of the overview of the process for amending traffic and parking ordinance and the review of the
Oh
roadway
God!
construction
Candy held
projects.
this last week.
Determine whether or not necessary the amendments have been
We're
ordained.
gonna get off
The motion
out of
is
the gates
sent
with a
to
candy
Traffic and
rant.
Parking, Council Russell.
Mr. Chairman,
need Shake Shack in
through you
Worcester.
to Mr. Raleigh,
We're getting a Raising Canes.
if I may. And,
Oh no, it was held by Russell. My bad.
you know, I don't want to.
I'm fascinated by the idea that fucking tendies get that much attention.
We've got some, signs
Have you
up
had 'em?
from the beginning of time.
I've not, no.
And Mr.
But-
Raleigh's department
Get
found
ready
out
get
that
ready
a
to
lot
start
of
giving them
these-
attention, brother.
And that's what started a lot of this conversation.
I mean, it's fine.
going.
They're good.
Um,
But
proposed
you know what I
some
found out?
local
Really
blocks
easy to make at home.
also Hayes District and-
oh, yeah,
Tendies?
really easy.
They're specific tendies.
Neighborhood interest. I think that's also
I found a dupe recipe for them, and they came out
but-
like
Mr.
incredible.
Chairman, what does this report say to us, through you to Mr. Raleigh? Does it say that basically traffic and
Up at the
mobility,
Denny's, the closed
administration,
Denny's on
that
Lincoln Street is where Canes is going.
things
We do
that
need a Sonic.
actually
They should
need an ordinance
replace
on
the Five and Diner
every
with
change
a
that
Sonic.
they come up with?
Sonic can get down with.
As part of that, just to save
Yo,
you coming
this
back
is
and
an
forth,
anti-corporation
If that's the
podcast.
case,
We're
do we-
sitting here sucking all these big old
why do we need
restaurants.
ordinances
Still gotta
and
eat.
votes on the other things?
Yeah, dude. If you're gonna eat, you gotta eat something weird and dumb.
I'm classic. I go to McDonald's and eat my 20 piece in a sitting.
Oh, you
Like
can't
an
you eat McDonald's?
American.
What's wrong with you, dude? We're yes, baby.
What we did is a request of, I believe there were two
Can't be eating
orders
McDonald's. You gotta
that
eat a
had
weird
been,
chain.
Submitted, asking that.
I've
we
been
move in
watching
manner.
this TikTok streamer
So what we
who's
did
a
is
local
we
Worcester.
went
He's
back
an
and
unhoused
looked at the
dude,
history
and he streams
of
from
road
two
reconstruction
locations,
projects that
Burger
occurred over
King
the
and the
last,
library.
roughly
He
8
has
years,
like women's feminine hygiene
to
products on his
evaluate
face.
the,
He has a
both
blow-up
the
doll.
appropriateness of the signage that
And he
was
just
put
takes
in
questions
place,
from the
as well
audience.
as
That's it.
whether
Which Burger King?
there were any ordinances
The one near Kelly
that
Square.
either were or
It's not a
should
good
have
Burger
been,
King. He should go to a better Burger King.
amended.
What's the other
in
Wait,
order to place
wait,
this.
hold on.
Oh,
I
Essentially, it falls into
Right.
two categories. So one of the
what
main
what
findings
Travis? What's
that-
going on?
That we try to do this exercise is that Oftentimes,
If you'll
for
bear,
a construction project,
TikTok link, I'll
there
send
are
you a
no
TikTok
amendments
link.
that are required to
Okay.
particular traffic or parking.
Ben, you didn't miss
ordinance
anything in the
because so
meeting. You
much
did
of
miss
the
us
signage is
discussing you.
governed by, what
So-
we call
I wasn't gonna
globally
tell him. I was gonna let him
applicable
find it.
Oh, I don't
regulations.
care. I told him
So
this
those are
week,
things
last
like
week.
no parking within
You're gonna have
10
to
feet of a
rewatch
fire
the
hydrant, or
entire,
no parking within 5 feet of a driveway, things like that. So in those cases,
recording
there,
to find
you know,
out what we said.
there's never,
This is
or there's very
lunacy.
rarely
Burger
an
King is
amendment that's
back.
required, to adjust that, even in a case where a
Yeah, we won't
project
abide
or
any
change
Burger
configuration
King
was
slander.
This show was
However,
founded
there
on
are a
Long
number
Boys, okay?
of,
Yeah.
schedules
That was our
in
first
Chapter
joke.
13, which is
Yeah.
the traffic and parking ordinance that
How
pertain
quickly I
to
forgot. I'm sorry, boys.
site-specific provisions. either
Don't you
related
dare
to
say
parking,
anything
most
bad
of
about
them
my
relate to
sweet,
parking,
sweet long
some of
voice.
them relate to traffic control. So
You want to engage in
some
illegal
examples
protests
are
against the
anywhere
king?
there's
I don't
metered
think so.
parking,
That's regicide.
There are schedule entries associated with where that metered parking is allowed.
We will pull your union
And
card.
if we make a change to that, that has to be ordained by the city council. Another example is stop signs. So stop signs have an ordinance schedule that lists the locations of stop signs and the directions they
Oh, is
face.
that good?
And anytime
I'm
there's a
dying to go
change
there.
to that also has
Oh,
to be.
Pollo
ordained by
Centro,
the
fucking
city
banks.
council.
That place is
Wicked
sick.
good.
Yeah.
It's wicked good.
Yeah.
Exercise. I'm sorry, my screen just.
It's Brazilian owned, I think. They have cochinas and
we
stuff
did-
there.
Nice. Yeah, Steak and
Evaluate
Shake was
these past
purchased by a
projects.
guy named Buglari a
We
few
did
years ago,
find
who is
some
the guy that also
historic
bought
issues
Maxim
where,
magazine, and he is a
Well,
right-wing
really
lunatic.
two
And he
main
also
issues.
ruined
One
Steak
is
and
that
Shake. It sucks
ordinances
now.
that should have been updated over time hadn't always been updated over time, and this is something we found.
Steak and
scattered
Shake used to
throughout the
rival
city.
Waffle House to me.
And then the second issue is
No,
that
it's terrible.
the
I love Waffle
signage
House.
post-project was not always returned to what it should have been, whether or not there were ordinance changes that were necessary. And
That's
this is
another
a
thing
problem
that makes
we
no
found was
sense to me
prevalent
that we don't
across a
have
number of
one
different
this far.
projects as
Like,
well.
what does it take to open a Waffle
So we
House? Maybe like
proposed a number of actions.
$30?
to address this.
$40?
That I can get behind.
It's a
100%.
Waffle House. How much could it cost?
Including,
$10?
There's a pending traffic and parking ordinance before the Traffic and Parking Committee that addresses several of the major issues.
If you've never seen it, the
that were
Anthony
identified
Bourdain
that was
Waffle
actually
House
submitted,
episode
2 or 3 months
is
ago.
one of the great,
When we
the
became
great
aware of that.
television segments of all time.
There is another ordinance that we will submit to clean up some of the smaller items that we've identified in the report. The DTM will work with the Department of Public Works to arrange for installation of missing signs, and we identified missing signs on several streets: Hamilton Street, Grafton Street, Winthrop Street. Those are all in the district.
Bojangles,
council's
if for no other
district,
reason than they did
as well as Pleasant Street and Main Street.
wrestling promotion last year where
and
they
then
made Bret
one of
Hart
the things that
soda
we
cups,
think is important,
which Jess
this
ordered for me
issue
for Valentine's Day.
Goes back far enough, and
So, yeah,
is
Bojangles, big time.
geographically spread around the city to the extent that we think it makes sense to actually do an audit of the streets in the city. And this is going to be a
None of
piecemeal
the
thing that
awesome
occurs over
diners
time.
in the
We
city
think
of
it makes
Worcester
sense to
are
go from the
open
top of the
before
street to
6
the end of
a.m.
the
or
street.
after 2
And
p.m.
a dozen or
is,
so
is
streets
the
a
reason
year
why we
go
need
through
Waffle
and
House.
audit them.
All right, so
Besides,
it comes down to those first couple words, it depends.
the bully.
That's not fair, Sally. We acknowledge the east side every time it sprays shit all
Just
over
as
our
an example,
waterways.
Just so I can understand it. So like when we redid Hamilton Street, and I'm not talking about the part that's in the state highway, I'm talking about we redid all Hamilton Street area. We changed some of the parking.
Culver's rules.
configurations. Were those done by ordinance, or were those done by administrative action?
Oh, share it, big brother. Share it.
Through the chair. So maybe a little bit surprising, but most of the parking changes for that project.
You
did
can
not
send it
require an
anonymously.
ordinance change. We did find one location down toward
Has anyone been to
the
Corner Lunch
westernmost
since they
portion,
got,
where an ordinance
purchased?
should have been changed.
Check
to
it out.
accommodate the
They're doing
signs.
great
So
things
we're
over
going
there.
The street was done over, through you, Mr. Chairman. So when the street was done over, did they
Corner lunch popping
go
off?
in for an audit exchange?
There
Yeah,
were no ordinance
a couple
changes.
from
And how about
Boston
I hate to
bought it
start that
and are doing
conversation,
like
but how about
just
the
the same like
controversial
awesome
release
diner
on Mill
food,
Street? Was that
but
an
doing
ordinance?
like
Mr.
interesting,
Through the
like
chair.
baking their own
Similarly,
bread
those,
and doing
changes
like
did not require
unbelievable
ordinance
cool like
changes.
sandwiches
Why
and
was
things
that?
like they're just like
Again, they're
doing
governed
high-end, cool,
largely
interesting stuff
by
too.
the
Oh, okay,
general
cool.
I dig it.
provisions that dictate parking on a global basis. So can't park within a bike lane, can't park within certain distance of a driveway, can't park within certain distance of a fire hydrant.
Right.
So where you typically see changes that are necessary through a parking ordinance are in a time-limited zone or in the metered parking environment. Those are the two cases where we consistently see parking ordinances should be updated.
So even if you're adding spaces or deducting spaces, that doesn't require an ordinance?
Commissioner?
Through the chair, as long as they're governed by those general provisions in the ordinance that apply globally.
And getting back to Vernon's.
Are we getting Rick
That was
Cipro
just
fan
about
fiction
snow.
going on in the comments? Is that what's happening? Found Rick Cipro's home in the multiverse.
But do you think those were done by administrative?
Commissioner?
Through the chair.
Must have been, somebody put the signs up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, if there was no ordinance, somebody must have called the sign people in this Public Works Department and said, hey, put those signs up. So I guess administratively, are they?
Through the chair. So Vernon Street was an issue that we had discovered working both with you as well as District Councilor Ojeda, where the snow ban signs did not match what was ordained in the ordinances. So we brought that to the councilor's
Right,
attention.
but I understand that, and I appreciate that, and I'm not trying to nitpick it here. I'm just trying to understand this, just so that people going forward will know what we're doing. If they were put up administratively, that's not okay there?
Through the chair, I don't know how the signs were put in place because it happened 15 plus years ago.
We did a Worcester
It's fair to say,
skinned
manager?
D&D campaign.
Not you, but was probably.
Or really a
probably
shadow run
predecessors
campaign
before you that decided
one
that they
time,
were
and that
gonna
was
do that, but they were there.
really fun.
Yeah, through the chair to the council.
It'd be
I think
very
that
fun to do that as a
there
show.
could have been a situation where signs were placed and there was a follow-up to ordain that. So administratively,
This
as
took me
part of the
forever to find.
construction project, those
But
signs maybe would have been put
Struggle
up,
Brother
and there was not
on
a follow-up
TikTok
in
is
terms
the
of
video
ordaining them.
of the
So that's
dude
where
I've been
the
watching.
commissioner is trying to allude to.
I just put the
Yeah,
link
I
in
would
chat.
respectfully
It's
suggest that this whole
wild.
thing needs an overlook, and maybe they should be ordained, all the signs, just so that we're all on the same page on everything and we have a discussion. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Cindy, parking, Councilor Hydiak?
Thank you. Mr. Rowley, what would
Denying
be
me
the
access to eat and
implications
shower
of
because I'm happy
ordaining
with
things
Amber.
that are generally,
Amber's his
like, as you
blow-up
said,
doll
done
that he
under
walks around
general
with.
provisions? What would
Amber
be
is the color
Yesterday.
of his
Ordaining
blow-up
everything.
doll.
Yesterday during his live stream, he was showing off his new haircut.
Through the chair,
which
so
were
that's
3 dreadlocks.
It's a difficult question
that
to
got
answer
ripped out of
because
somebody else's hair and
traffic
was on the
traffic and
ground,
parking ordinance
and
in
he
the
just
city of
liked them
Worcester
and he put them up in his hat.
mimics and is similar to the traffic
And I
parking
agree, he did look
ordinances
good
of
in
other
them, but it
communities
was
in Massachusetts. We all follow roughly a model ordinances provided by Mass DOT, and that's in part to ensure that we're consistent with state regulations associated with traffic and parking. So I don't know of any communities that actually ordain, for example, every fire hydrant location or every driveway location or anything like that. Those you always try to address through a global provision like this. And then the individual items.
Damn, and
that
this one it looks
require
like Amber has a
schedule,
Twizzler in her nose.
amendment are those things that you couldn't locate through some
Yep.
general
Yummy,
descriptive
yummy worms
way.
in the
So,
mouth.
for example,
Wow, this is a
a
document.
1-hour parking space.
Yeah,
on a certain
I don't know
block.
how
You
much of
need
it's
to be able
for
to list
TikTok
that
or
in
how
the
much of
because
it,
there's
like,
no other
that's
way
why I've actually been
define it.
holding
But the
on to this for a
implication is
while.
that anytime then you want to change that requires
Yeah,
a
this is
petition to
right.
amend.
That's a good point.
And,
Um,
Mr. Chair, if I could.
I suppose it doesn't really
The
matter.
reason I asked it is that in your report.
I'm putting
you
it out there
mentioned-
as this is
and I can't
interesting
remember
and it's an
exactly
interesting
where
view of
the,
Worcester.
The line is, but you mentioned the tremendous amount of things.
Oh,
that go through
Ben,
the
not
traffic and
today.
parking
Come on,
committee.
man.
It's
a high holy day.
The ordinances and all the things that go in there. So if the best practice, according to also what.
Bill,
other
will you guys play
municipalities
Beautiful
do,
Disaster at
is
Sword of Light
to
Show on the
stick
28th?
to, the ordinances
yeah,
that
I think we could probably
require or to be ordained.
We'll
not
play all
everything.
mixed up, and I'll do the
I'm
reggae
just
rap part at the
asking
beginning.
specifically, Mr. Manager, you
Whoa.
could request this bureaucratically.
I
How
won't know
does it
what to do.
impact the work of DPW, the work of the committee itself? Does it
Yeah, that
present
was
delays
interesting.
for things that don't need to get done?
I don't know if
through an
anybody else
ordinance?
saw that.
What the?
Commissioner?
Through the chair. So I think
Why are people talking?
the most obvious downside to having
Russian.
some of these items that require individual ordinances. It's just
Hello.
the time and effort that needs to
Welcome.
be committed to do it. So this is a legal document that needs to be, each one needs to be considered individually, and then that results in a time delay in terms of getting them implemented. Mr. Manager.
Mr. Manager?
Through the chair to the council, I think one of the things that we're, as part of our analysis of what's happening in engineering and DTM and
The guy came in and asked, what are we discussing?
There's always room that we can improve in terms of communication. So as part of either the design or the construction
up.
projects or the
Das Vidanya.
documents of the construction project, we can delineate
Welcome.
which are the universal ordinances. and
Dostoevsky.
which are the ordinances that require some changes so that there is a broader understanding in
Rubinov.
those project documents of which ones require what. And that way everybody knows. and also
oligarch.
keeps us accountable on knowing which ones we need to follow up with on actual
Defenestration.
ordinance changes, rather than just applying ordinance changes to everything. We can really delineate kind of those things.
You better not be saying
we'll
slurs
evaluate.
in
I think the
Russian.
audit will play a big role
We're
in
being
helping us
really upset
understand
with you.
where the
Wow.
kind of the areas of
Somebody
pitfalls
looks
have
like a
been,
living
and then
mummy.
how can we then
These
implement
sun
that as
cover
part of our
bands are out
project
of
design
control,
and,
dude.
projects moving forward.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. So are we actually bringing
wasn't
this
supposed
back
to be that funny.
your
That was awesome.
administration to then come back with a report? I'm confused about what exactly are we doing with this item?
Through the chair to the council, that item will go to committee for conversations. And then there's action items that we're going to
Mr.
take right
Manager,
away.
they're
And then
fucking
what we're
kidding there,
recommending
Mr.
is to do a
Manager.
full audit of all of our streets to then come back with some solutions in terms of what the next steps would be after we understand what that audit says.
Right, thank you.
Okay. Councilor Russell, for second time?
Mr. Chairman, just quickly, I just want to reiterate that if there's a major.
You guys remember the
project
movie
going on, I've had these
Anastasia?
questions back and forth between
They
myself and
made
the
a
manager, Mr.
lighthearted
Long,
cartoon
about
out of the
specific locations in my district. But I
the
go
story
citywide.
of the Russian
If
royal
there is
family
a
getting
major project
butchered.
coming along and they're going to change
Brutally
the
murdered.
pattern of parking or traffic,
But
it
they had a
makes
fun
sense
cartoon bat named Bartok.
to have a hearing,
So
to have a
Oh, that made
conversation,
everything
as
better.
opposed to just doing it and then getting negative feedback or even.
and also
positive
Rasputin
feedback
was the
later on.
bad guy in it, but I don't think
Just
those
makes no
timelines
sense.
match up.
So, that's all I'll say.
Okay. So we'll send that to traffic and parking. Those in favor, opposed, so ordered. We'll go back to the orders. 10A, request of the city manager, request Commissioner of Public Works and Parks, review the crumbling
There's
sidewalk.
beautiful
on
animation
15
in
Coombe
that
Street
film.
caused from the tree roots for the purpose of completing
What
any
happened?
necessary emergency patchwork repairs at that location.
The movie Anastasia, the cartoon, was that a
Those in
Bakshi?
favor, opposed, so ordered.
Bakshi.
10B, request city manager.
Anastasia.
Commissioner of Public Works and Parks, work with the superintendent of public schools to direct the overgrowth along the fence abutting Foley Stadium and Coombs Road. Council Hygiai.
As it reads.
Don
Favor, opposed,
Bluth
so
and
ordered.
Oh, it was a
Gary
blue. That's
City
yeah.
manager,
Goldman.
Commissioner of
Fucking
Transportation
Bluth
Mobility
if
for
I
the
ever
city
seen
with
one.
City
I'm so
Council report
dumb.
concerning the intersection of
I love
Level
Don
Street and
Bluth.
Park Ave.
Oh,
That
what?
includes the number
What's a
of
Bluth?
crashes
What's
that
another Bluth I
occurred
might?
in the, location over the past 2 years, as well
What's
as
the
any
one,
potential safety measures that could be implemented to
the
reduce
cat in
number
the
of
city,
crashes at that said intersection. Council Hygiai.
As it reads.
That
Those in favor, opposed, so
was like
ordered.
Oliver based,
10D,
and Billy Joel did all the songs for it.
Public Works and Parks review.
Oh, he did the
Hurd
Land
Street
Before Time. All
in the
right.
He did do
vicinity
the
of
Land Before
Hope
Time.
Avenue.
All dogs go to heaven.
Any immediate
He did, yes,
repairs that can be
absolutely.
done to address potholes at that
Yeah, that's the
location.
one. That's the
Council
dog one he
Hygiai.
did.
Yes, I'd like to
Not
amend
the
that
other
to
one.
read, review Webster Street in the vicinity of Hope Avenue.
I think I remember watching Titan AE.
Yes, as amended.
Titan AE is
Those in favor, opposed, so
my
ordered.
fave. That's where I heard
Request
Creed
city
for the
manager
first
request
time.
the Police chief provide increased speed enforcement on Drummond Ave. Council Bergman.
He did
Triangle
a,
is
you know,
good.
he did an
Five will go.
American Tail.
Those in favor,
My
opposed,
favorite
so
movie when I was a
ordered.
kid.
Request the mayor provide council with a report concerning the current
I had a
prescription
5-0
benefit
Phoenix
management
birthday party.
arrangement that which steps are being
Feeney,
claims to ensure
nothing
best
has
practices
happened
being
yet.
taken advantage of to control costs and medication
Yes.
benefits such
George
as
Russell has
stimulus,
complained about
discounts, et
something
cetera.
road related,
Council.
Good.
which I tuned out, and then there was no substantive action. So.
Has people in the chat, have people seen All Dogs Go to Heaven? Is that like is that
yeah.
also a traumatic memory?
It's a brutal movie.
Like wonderful, amazing, and
Edifying. It's
terrible. That God, maybe Burt Reynolds' best performance.
Wow. Oh, you know what I watched last night, like wicked late at night? in an insomniac state.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Enemy
And,
of the state. What a
This is
movie.
regarding the PPM.
The
What a
unofficial
movie.
sequel to the
Benefit
conversation.
management.
Right, yeah.
These companies
Oh,
are third
hey,
parties.
this is something people need to know. Coolidge Corner just announced a Gene Hackman series. They're showing everything great. They're showing the conversation. It's new. It's new.
Of the business of the city of Worcester.
Like formatting, the
understanding
new
that-
restoration of it.
The reason I just bring this up, I believe
They're showing
depending on
Royal
what the federal
Tenenbaums.
government does,
They're showing, they got some fucking bangers in there.
We're looking at all potential revenue.
That story is horrendous.
Is whether or not we can.
Not the
look at
movie,
ways
the story, what actually
I've been
happened to Gene
told that
Hackman
from the
is
research we've
horrendous.
done,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
cost is very high when you're working with PPMs. Is there any other way we could bring those costs down here in the city of Worcester, prescription drugs? Because these are our retirees, these are our employees, and sometimes when you get these special medications.
Man, Don Bluth really fucking
So,
had
just
it,
wanna
right?
have, HR, or you, Mr.
He's
Manager.
still alive.
Just to
I
look
didn't
at
realize
this,
he was
I
still
think
alive.
it's important
That's crazy.
87 years old.
We give our
That's
give our
crazy.
taxpayers a break, give our employees a break, and give our retirees a break when it comes to these PPMs, to see if there's any savings we can go out to bid. Thank you, Mr.
Joe Petty's PPMs.
Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Which one?
Wait, they're doing a Dragon's Lair
Anyone else on
movie?
this matter?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah, but the
He's
very next
directing it.
item.
Yeah.
So
It's already animated.
item 10F, request city manager
Just
provide the
fucking
council
use
with a
the shit in the
report
game.
concerning the current
I've
restriction,
absolutely
benefit,
watched streamers
management
play
arrangement,
through
and
it
what
just
steps
so
are
I can
currently
know,
being
'cause I could
utilized
never
to
beat 'em as a
plan
kid.
to ensure best practices are taken advantage of to control costs for medication benefits such as for generics, bulk discounts, etc. We do a roll call, Mr. Clerk.
So, Mr. Vice Chair, you're asking for a roll call on 10F to send to
Yes.
the manager?
Yes.
Council Bergman?
Yes.
Council Calorio?
Yes.
Council Haji?
Yes.
Council King?
Yes.
Council Morrow Carlson? Yes. Council Nguyen? Council Ojeda? Yes. Council Pasillo?
Yes.
Yeah,
Council Russell?
Complete Unknown is a good movie. It is.
Yes.
It
All right, we have.
doesn't
10G, filed by Mayor Petty.
the shitty
Request the
biopic
city
thing,
manager provide
and
the
it's.
council
I
with a
really
report
liked it.
concerning what steps and reforms
Mangold,
the city
baby.
can unilaterally take to rapidly utilize and/or encourage the use of modular housing construction to address the need for additional market rate and affordable housing in the city. Further, request said report include
Which is funny
information
because Mangold has
concerning
also
potential
directed what I
pilot
think is
or
not a good
demonstration
biopic,
project.
which is
Mayor
Walk the
Petty.
Line, a music
I know
biopic.
these issues, tiny homes and small homes, Council Toomey, other councils have brought the modular houses up. And I think with the state putting funding together, the state is looking at this at a statewide level. They're looking at the process and also regulatory and permitting.
Oh, the
process
Wizard's
for
really good.
modular homes. And it's just one of the things, and we have a modular home company right here in the city of Worcester on Beacon Street and Southbridge Street neighborhood. And if we could somehow use those and look at our permitting process, capitalize on what the state is doing, and because this is about turning around the housing. We've got 5,000 housing apartments coming on board. We've got 2,000, get some more coming on board in the future. And this will just be able to speed up the process by using the modular homes. This is good for the building trades too. The more you can get out there, the more people who get to work here in the city of Worcester.
Is it?
We've got trades, and we'll be working for these type of jobs. So I
Wow.
think it's important if we can, how to really speed up the process here. Look at the permitting process, regulations. The state's doing the same thing. I was reading about the state doing this. If that was a good idea, maybe we can look at this too as we move on more modular home. Because that seems like it's going to be a future. I know we got a project, I think, off of Main Street up here.
Thank you
Grove
so
Street. We're
much.
gonna have modular homes. And
Did
see how that
Kate
project
Toomey
goes.
show you an
Have
article?
studies, see how that turns out here in the city of Worcester. Thank you.
Councilor Attila Haji, District 5.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Certainly support this item. I just would like to also find out, in form of a report, when this comes back, to understand what kind of zoning changes might be required for us to accommodate modular homes in all areas of the city.
And Mangold's had a really
As the
roller
manager,
coaster
roll call,
career,
Mr. Clerk.
tonally.
Council Bergman?
Yes.
Council Calorio?
Yes.
Council
Started with
Aguirre?
Copland.
Council King?
Yes.
This is his
Councilor
first big
Carlson?
one, which
Council Nguyen?
I love.
Council Ada?
Yes.
Council Basillo?
Yes.
Council Russell?
Yes.
Council Toomey?
Yes.
And then he
Petty.
went Girl Interrupted, Kate and Leopold, Walk the Line, 310 to Yuma, Night and Day, The Wolverine, Logan, Ford versus Ferrari, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, A Complete Unknown.
That's
There's
wild.
no through line there. I find that fascinating.
10H, Council King has full
Copland
I'm with
fucking
this.
rips, dude.
Oh,
10I,
I'm with
request the
Rollband
mayor to provide
and
council
Oh Brother.
with
Oh my
Oh,
God.
an
great
update
movie.
concerning attempts to bring a grocery
I've never seen
store back to
Copland. I've seen Cop Town.
545 Lincoln
This is
Street,
big. This
site
is the
for
sequel. It
Stop
gets
and
bigger.
Shop.
So sick.
You wanna
Cop
do both
Nation.
together, you wanna do both?
No,
Yeah,
Copland
maybe we can
is a really
Request the
fucking
manager
great.
to provide council with an update
Oh
concerning
wait.
any outreach
No, I think
attempts to bring daily
I
table
wait.
grocery
It's
store to
it is
city.
the sequel actually.
Thank
No,
you,
it's
Mr.
not.
Chair. Just
It's-
really quickly, the
I'm just
Stop
saying
and
the name
Shop
of the
on
movie
Lincoln
wrong,
Street
I think, 'cause
closed on
this is the one I
October
watched for
31st
sure.
this past fall. And I understand the city doesn't own the property, but I would like to know what's going on with any efforts to bring it in. And then on 10J, the Daily Table Grocery Store, it's a nonprofit model.
Yeah, I
so
just
there are
thought it was
5
called
throughout
Cop
the
Town.
state.
The
They're
one I
really
watched is
interesting.
Copland.
I just wanna be
Movie-
clear, I'm not
movie rocks.
suggesting a Daily
Yep.
Table go into the Stop and Shop building. I think anywhere in the city that has a need for a grocery store on the smaller side of Daily Table would be a great option. Thank you.
Thank you. So take both of those items.
I was also,
Nine,
me
10
and
days,
Eric
manager,
Franco
all
have
those in
been talking
favor,
about
also ordered.
how fascinating Ang Lee's career
Request
is
the
too.
manager, city manager ensure protection plans
Like,
are in place to
just,
provide
again, from a
the safety
tonal
and security of the bald
standpoint.
Eagle family currently occupying a
Some
nest
directors
on
have a
Mass
style.
Ave.
They have a type of movie that they
As it
do.
reads.
Those in favor, opposed, so ordered.
Not
Request
Ang
the
Lee.
manager provide counsel
From
with a report concerning the
1995
number of completed
through
inspections that
2005,
have occurred
he
in
did
correlation
Sense and
with the rental
Sensibility,
registry. Further
The Ice
request the city
Storm,
manager provide
Crouching Tiger, Hidden
said
Dragon,
report
Hulk,
information concerning
and
the
Brokeback
number of
Mountain
employees that
in
have
order.
been hired to complete said inspections. Councilmember Carlson. Those in favor, opposed.
Oh my God, that's 2 as it reads in a row. Friends, we are flying through this shit. Eagles just passed without landing.
I am very disappointed we didn't get a single Eagle call.
My pages are lined up right. Okay. From the committee, well, mine has from the Committee of Public Health, it goes 10F. You have it like that? Okay. Okay, got it. That the City Council of the City of Worcester does hereby amend the meeting scheduled for March 25th, 2025. City Council meeting to host a special meeting to discuss the communication of the City Manager, transmitting information communication.
This is what I
relative to the
mean.
Report detailing the United States Department of Justice.
I don't think it's as
investigations of the
simple
Worcester
as
Police Department
the check
and the City of
clearing.
Worcester
I
and
really
related
do think
items.
that
Further, the
there's
City Council of the City of Worcester
something to
hereby amends
being a
its meeting
chameleon
schedule
like this.
to make its March 18th, 2025 meeting a joint meeting of the City Council and City Manager. Where the manager could not be present, so he has to move the meeting. So I think, is that fine? Okay. Council King?
Mr. Chairman, I just have a question with regards to time. I think when we initially agreed to your suggestion, it was to have a special meeting.
Yeah.
And my understanding, that would be a sub-separate meeting of the council of the body.
Correct.
And that's kind of what we supported. My only concern is, are you saying we're going to have a joint meeting that meeting, or a singular meeting? I'm just
Oh,
concerned.
I'm sorry, the joint meeting is next week.
Okay.
That's because it's going to be the
Prior
week after.
to.
Yeah, prior
Okay,
to.
and that meeting, we still can do the business of the city.
For next meeting.
For the meeting that's designated for the DOJ report.
We're going to try to keep that to the DOJ report only, if we can.
So, again.
That's why we're going to have the council would have the joint meeting next week for the council agenda, which was not on that meeting. Unless there's an emergency or something. But.
Okay, I was just under the impression we would have a separate meeting, we'd still continue the work of the council as we had usually done, but you're saying we're just gonna combine the meetings, which is gonna make for a longer meeting. But, okay, thank you.
No, just to be very clear, next week is not the DOJ report, will be a joint meeting.
Instead of.
The week after will be on the DOJ
I
report.
understand.
Okay.
Again, my preference is that we'd have a separate meeting and continue our schedule.
On the DOJ report?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do on that. Oh, on a different night, you mean?
Yes.
I think everybody's schedule is so booked. I tried that, so.
Oh, I haven't heard anything.
Put this in the chat, Brian, but have you
Only
played
starts
Senate
me.
2 Nerdle?
Okay, we'll just see if it works. If it doesn't work,
No.
we can always do that too.
But there's nothing that
It's
prevents
like
us
a
from putting
battle
something on the
game where
agenda
it's
if
you
we feel
versus
it's
someone
necessary.
else,
If
and
it's
you
not
have to
stress,
link
Yep.
there's no rule that
movies
prevents it.
with
All
actors.
right, thank you.
I feel like you would crush.
Okay.
I love. So we used to play this game.
Those in favor are so ordered.
Me and my brother and our
Of course,
friends.
the city manager consider funding private street maintenance.
We
as
call
per
it
Chapter
Al Pacino
166,
or
the Act
Robert
of
De Niro interchangeably.
96, and Chapter
Where you
302 of the Act
start
of
with either an
1904,
actor or a
which allows for
movie,
private street betterment,
and
private
then
street temporary
if you
repair
name an
petitions,
actor, you name a
especially
movie they were in,
the
and then
streets
the
that
next,
have
like,
petitioned
so I
this
name an
with
actor,
legislation.
you name a
Councilor
movie they were in.
Chairman, why don't
Next
we do the
person
next
names
one,
another actor from that
Request that the
movie.
manager request
Next
that
person
the
names a movie
Commissioner
that that
Parks
actor was in that hasn't been named yet.
Works and Parks develop a less
That's this game.
expensive private street.
You're playing this game.
Plan that
I love
offers
it.
residents the ability to convert their
I've
private
been watching streamers
roads to
play it, and
public
they're
roads at
screaming
low
at each
cost
other,
and
trying to
includes less
type as fast as they
expensive
can.
parking,
And you can set
Chairman,
traps.
it's
So they're
been well
playing,
over
they're
a
setting
year now
these weird
since,
traps where they
we had
can't
the
use certain
discussion on this
names.
council floor, the
Yeah, you try and back
communications
somebody into a corner. Yeah, I
from,
love that.
Former city solicitor Mike Trainer and former commissioner of Public Works Jay Fink that outlined the law, the ordinance, if you will, that is in place. Since then, we've only had, I think, a couple or 2 or 3 streets that were petitioned in a proper way. This clerk put the petition on the website. The residents did it in good faith. They're following the ordinance that's in place, but there's no money in the budget.
I'm trying to finish
for
editing the podcast
these,
while
dropping some
doing the
gravel,
show, and
grading it
it's
out,
hurting my brain
$6
so
a foot
bad.
type of work
I only have like
that we're
5
doing.
more
So
minutes to
I would
get.
encourage the administration.
So I'm
to
like, I can just
consider,
do it, but like I'm listening to
of that
George
we'll consider.
Russell
We're gonna ask him to
and
consider,
Chris speak at the same time,
because
and
if
they're
he
just
doesn't
bouncing
consider
off
it,
of
and
each
if
other.
there
Like,
is no money
oh.
after well over a year,
And they sound exactly the
it
same.
basically-
George
Yeah,
Russell and Chris
I'm
Robards.
always saying that.
the ordinances.
Sausage and peppers.
And I'm
Ziggy
really
Bob's.
not happy about that, and with that message that I'm sending.
Dog,
But
Ziggy Bob subs. They're pretty good. Especially when they got the peppers and onions.
How to do it properly. They go, they get all the signatures, they get all the communication done properly.
I
They
think
come in,
I've only had Ziggy
no,
Bombs
no,
like once or
it's
twice,
there, but we
and
just don't have any money. So,
I've never been.
encouraging him to put some money.
I'm
It
committed
doesn't
to
have to
having
be a
that be a
lot,
mystery for my entire
especially
life.
if you've only got a couple of streets in this
fine.
look.
I mean, I think I had one of the times I had
There should be
the
enough
Chinese
there
food one.
to
That
handle
was a
that.
mistake.
Mr. Chairman, on 10-0,
A mistaken
the
cheese.
private street, it's no secret that
I've had a few
over
mistaken
the last
cheeses in
few
my
years,
day,
the
that's for
cost
sure.
of construction has gone skyrocketed, and the private street conversions has not been an easy request when you have 1 or 2 residents or property owners on a private street, and you have other people that just plain old can't afford it. We went the route of the state legislation and try and give an opportunity for senior citizens that are in a limited income ability to float that cost on a long-term basis without any payments. That has been approved by the legislature. It's in place, but we still have a big bill. The last one that I remember
We got you,
coming
Gio.
before Public Works Committee was to the tune of about $300 a linear foot per side of the street. So if you have a house with 100 linear feet, you're looking at potential bill of $30,000. And if you don't fall in that age bracket or that income bracket of able to float it until you sell the property, then you're
I gotta try.
faced
I
with
still haven't had I Love
plan
Frankie's.
to pay for it. Most folks can't afford that. When Commissioner Moylan was filling in,
Simply will not be fucked around with
assistance and the request of the manager,
when it comes to ordering a
him and
pizza,
I
and
went
that's
back and forth about some
I
deep
I
discussions on this
have
whole
been gun shy
process.
about trying them
And
again.
he suggested that there might be a way of looking at the streets and maybe see if they could upgrade the streets to something that's able to be accepted as public, but not necessarily to the quality of what we ask for now. Maybe things like the drainage on some streets don't necessarily need to be done if it's done right. Maybe we don't need granite curbs. Maybe we don't need a sidewalk on every street, especially some of these,
Yeah.
back streets that are up a mountainside. where you're
I
not
mean,
gonna
that's
have
not
an
my
awful lot
fucking
of-
problem.
It would never be handicap accessible anyway
Yeah.
because of the grades. So if there's a way of looking at this whole proposal.
We love a
with the
hot take.
Engineering department at the DPW, I believe. I don't think this has gone to traffic and mobility. I think it's still in DPW. If there's a way of trying to trim that bill down, and we could even leave it so open-ended so that
Here we
this
go.
is the minimum that's
Out hot
requested,
taking you.
but are required. But if you want granite curbs, it'll be, another $50 a foot or another $40 a foot. If you want
Bagel
some of
Time's
these
doing
streetlights, it'll be a
doing
little extra,
corned
but at
beef
least we
breakfast
can get some of
sandwiches
these
this week.
Streets upgraded to a point where they're passable and where the city will take the responsibility for upkeep of them. And I think
In
if we
theory,
can
I
reduce
love that.
number from that $300
But
a foot now.
I would
it'll
love
make
it
a big
even more
impact.
if they were going like
Thank you, Mr.
full
Chairman.
Thank you.
John
Mr.
DeMoga
Manager.
and smoking their
All
own.
in favor, opposed, so ordered. Request the manager provide
Fuck
counsel to the board
Frankie's.
concerning the impact of the potential reductions.
Just
in
kidding,
federal
I have no
funding may have in
opinion.
the city of Worcester.
I haven't had it. I was very annoyed by the way I was treated one night, and so I'm gun shy.
It's
But I will not hold that against the pizza.
It is funny that they they shoot themselves in the foot so
Thank you,
bad
Mr. Chairman.
with the
I know
customer
this probably-
service.
this
It's
council
awesome.
probably feels-
Stop taking
probably
orders.
feels the same way. There's probably nothing more frustrating.
That
than the company
drives
cutting
demand
budget,
even more if you have like
how
a
it's going to
Yeah.
thing that
impact
says we're not taking
the
orders.
city of
Say I'm
Worcester.
sold out instead of
It's gonna
like,
change
yeah,
a little
come in
bit.
40 minutes and then you have to like idle in your
we
car
probably
for an
won't
hour
be
and a
able
half.
to get our hands around this until sometime, who knows, probably a month from now. Even the congressman has had a number of community meetings throughout his district, and it's hard to address some of these issues, except for just scaring people. And unfortunately, you're looking at some of the things like one day there's a federal office over here in the Synergy building was closed. Next week it was opened. Then I think there's one over by the Mercantile building that was another federal office that was closed. It might be still closed. And so the way I look at this, there's direct city impact and the community impact to what they're talking about.
Wow, thank you so much, Joe Petty.
And you're
Jesus
looking at,
fucking Christ.
housing, big issue in housing, right? Now, everywhere, nobody mentions.
Why
the
is he
federal
doing
level,
this? He has no
except
idea
for
what he's talking
private
about.
allocation. But if there's going to be cuts up there, how is that going to impact our programs here in the city of Worcester? Public safety, some of the grants we received, it's not clear to me yet whether grants are going to be cut. Block grant money,
Imagine filing this in March.
still $4 or $5 million in that bucket.
Like, dude, he's been in office
And
for
start thinking more about this when it
2
comes to the schools
months.
and the announcement that Department of Education might be cut. What does that mean to the Worcester Public Schools? There's millions and millions of dollars that come.
Yeah,
through
I don't want to.
education
I don't
in
want
the
to
city of Worcester.
scare
and
anybody,
other
but let
cities
me
and
just
towns throughout the
repeat
state and the
something
country. And also
wicked
the nutritional
wrong.
programs.
That's
Then you still got
that's
the other
fucking
programs that impact every
wicked
single
dramatic.
person some way, including here in the city of Worcester. VA, Veterans Administration, I think the last stat was $83,000.
I don't. They were nice to me in there. It just was. I just hate mismanagement of like
All the low-income
customer service,
programs that associate
and that's how I
households,
felt when I was
especially
there.
All the programs here that we receive here in the city of Worcester.
They were very
Social
pleasant and very
Security.
apologetic,
People are
but
going to be impacted by Social Security.
just tell them, just put a stop
These
sign
are
on
big
the
issues
on your
that
website.
impact food
when
insecurity.
you can't take orders.
And Medicare, Medicaid, a big issue for adults, for seniors.
Burncoat Pizza would never.
Burnco Pizza has never treated me poorly.
I know it's going to take a while getting their hands on. We had a long.
Known as
superintendent,
known as
that's actually
meatball
a good
pizza,
idea.
pretty freaking good.
At the right time, we should
Burnco
probably
Pizza. Have you tried the General Gal pizza?
on this, and once we have our hands around what's impacted in the city.
No, but I've been thinking about it.
And
Every time I look at the menu.
that's probably over the
It
month to
works.
do that. But the schools, people are nervous out there. I've been in the community a lot, talking about immigration, and it seems
I don't
like
think
that's
I
almost-
don't think
rules change every day on immigration.
Burncoat has a
It's
pizza
shame
that doesn't
people
work.
be afraid to live here in the city of Worcester.
They don't have a bad joke pizza.
I don't think they do.
So
Their joke subs are
I
really
don't
good
like the way
too.
things go. I'm sure my colleagues don't like the way things are going.
Oh, you know what they have at
There's gonna be
Burncoat?
tremendous impact. It's just- at least we have federal judges who will stop
They have a
this.
steak combo
So
salad,
this probably won't come
which is
really
like a steak and
until
cheese
another month or so, I guess, when
thrown right off the
budget's
grill
put
on
forth
top
by
of
the
a
Congress,
salad.
Wow.
and see where that
And
goes over the next
it
month.
works,
So,
dude. It's
thank
fucking
you, Mr.
sick.
Chairman.
With the peppers and onions.
I gotta try that.
Oh, Ani Dots is legit. Ani Dots is sick. As
No,
hell.
it is not.
Shut up, Travis.
It's my
Fucking-
anti-Worcester take.
Hey, open up the window.
Thank you.
Jump.
Mr. Chairman, just
Jump.
want
Fenestrate
to
yourself.
rise and say how much I
Fenestrate.
appreciate the order.
Union
It's my
Square.
favorite word. I
Within the
fucking love that
last
word.
month, I had
Yeah,
put
that's a good
something
one.
on
Their
in
crab
terms
rangoon
of
pizza is
the
really good
federal
too.
funding cuts.
I love a joke pizza.
Nobody expected them to continue to be as deep as
You people that love
you
Auntie Dots
just
also like
spoke.
Rhode Island style pizza.
So just really want to reiterate.
Wow.
I
Candy-
think we're in
Candy's sharing her
for
hot
a
take on the
tough
Trump
ride with all of these federal cuts, and the folks that
Shouldn't have voted for him,
this
Candy.
will affect is nobody knows.
Did they change
amount
ownership?
of folks that this will affect across the city and, in fact,
Wow.
across this country. So again, appreciate the
In
order.
fact,
and would
across
love
this
to sign
country.
on. Thank you.
Council King?
Anybody watching the new White Lotus? Pretty fucking good.
Gio, I don't know what to tell you. They're trying to offer
It's another
alternative forms of
example
protein, and if you're not willing to get with the future, then
all
that's, I
politics
guess,
are
on you.
local, Mr. Chairman.
We're trying to solve world hunger.
Federal legislation, federal acts impacting the state, impacting our municipality. We've heard a lot of rhetoric over the last few months about things outside of our purview. Certainly, these federal matters are outside of our purview, but they have an impact.
Oh,
on
I
the
love this
residents,
bread. The
folks that
rumor
come
when I
to
went to
our city,
Fitchburg
Mr. Chairman.
was
So
that
I certainly
espresso pizza
appreciate
put
this.
orange soda in their
I hope
sauce.
that the folks,
And I have just
who have
chosen to believe and
leaned
repeat
into
it
that
for the
rhetoric,
last 15 years.
use this as a reminder that all politics are local, Mr. Chairman. I'll sign on to this. Appreciate the leadership. I would like to add, back in July, I requested, and this body unanimously supported, my request to have the administration's intergovernmental
It's up to us, Yenny.
person or department, however it's referenced, bring us a quarterly report,
All right.
Mr. Chairman.
That's two sources. I'm confirming it.
On federal matters.
Orange soda in the
that
sauce.
impact us here in the city.
Yeah, but did they hear
for
it from
issues
you?
in budget? I'd like to reiterate that call, Mr. Chairman.
Hey, listen.
Because
I'm just saying I
that
got two
needs to
sources.
Start immediately. And again, appreciate this, and these are times to lead. These are times where we know, as mentioned previously, folks are under attack by executive order, and we know that when it comes to issues of equity,
I didn't even know they
inclusion,
had that on the menu.
they're attacking folks, and we're attacking our children, K through 12, by threatening to defund certain school districts and municipalities, Mr. Chairman. So now is the time to stand tall and not hide and have no fear, Mr. Chairman. We must be ready, and part of that is a communication to this body. So again, I want to encourage and nudge
I think
the
that
administration,
burn coat is the
to
most
come back with
consistent
quarterly
pizza in the
reports,
city of Worcester.
that will include
For Greek
matters
style.
such as this.
I think it's
Thank you,
I
Mr.
think
Chairman.
I think Village Pizza has a higher ceiling but a lower floor.
I think that you're going
First, may I
full
provide counsel with an update concerning the
homer on
status
it.
of
You're going full
vehicles in the
hometown
city's
team.
For
fleet,
Greek style
including
pizza,
maintenance
there's a
requirements
better
associated with said
there's a more
fleet, so the
consistent
report
place
should
than
include
burn coat.
information relative to the replacement
No, I
of
don't know.
plans
I
for
don't.
emergency communications and management.
I wasn't trying to go toe to toe with you.
Parks, Council Toomey.
Thank you,
Just
Mr.
pointing
Chair. I
out,
would
kind
like
of
to make
curious
a-
that
an
you would pick
amendment,
the place
to
closest to your
include
house
any,
to say that they have the most
technological
consistent.
Did it ever
pizza
occur to you that I
as
moved
well.
here to be as close to burn coat as possible?
I was like, that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing Brian chose
But also what
intelligently.
replacement plans are. Thank you.
I do my research.
Manager, all those in favor of proposal ordered.
Wait, is Leo's
So
still
item
open?
A is request of the city manager
I
may
drive by
organize
it.
the
It never
Irish
looks
flag
open,
to be
but
raised from before
heard
March
of it.
17,
I need to try it.
2025 through
That's
the
over by
18th,
me.
2025, and on the Irish American Heritage Month.
I was
Council
going to
Toomey.
go
Thank you,
Grande,
Mr.
but
Chair. I'd also like to amend that
good on them for a bit.
to organize with
Mostly
the
'cause they're
Ancient
open
Order
real
of
late.
Hibernians and the St. Patrick's Parade Committee.
there's not many places that are open at 11 o'clock when I want a piece of pizza or a slice of.
Okay, there's an application.
Not many
process
food
that's
places in general in Worcester open at that time.
Correct. It stinks.
Okay, perfect. Those in favor, opposed, so ordered. Request the city manager establish a high winds threshold that would initiate recycle pickup delay.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman.
A lot of wind.
Yes, the wind has swept through the city. We know that the reports have been 62
Papa George's
miles
used to
per
be a
hour
huge
winds.
go-to spot for me
We
too,
know we
but
are a
they
city of 7 hills.
changed ownership.
And I can tell you, driving through some of the streets, I felt like I
Not
was
sure now.
playing dodgeball with green bins flying towards me as I navigated through the city and through the streets, trash everywhere. And it makes you think,
Oh,
okay,
shit.
is
We're
there a
talking
way,
about
similar
recycling
to other
bins?
elements that
I
We're
gotta-
talking about delaying trash because of wind.
and in an
Oh my
attempt
God,
to
this is
be
gonna
clean and green,
take 5
we can
hours.
establish some sort of a threshold.
So the
it's
thing that
simply a
I'm most
request,
excited about for warm weather in
to
Patnick
use
is
some
that the
prudence,
Papa John's will put their
and to
stupid inflatable
explore
guy out,
how we can
and
do
it'll be
exactly
the
that. I've
wrong
never
direction
seen,
again, and it'll look like it's waving people out
that
of the
much
restaurant.
trash flying around in our city.
Don't go here.
Through the
Yeah.
chair to the administration.
John
Is this
Schneider's
something
a
that we can
racist.
get back in short order, and have you already begun to look at this sort of a thing?
Mr. Manager?
To the chair, to the council, it's something that I communicated to the team. I thought it was a interesting idea and concept to look into, so we can definitely have this in short order.
Thank you. And Mr. Chairman, the last thing I would add, you know, I watched as even large items of cardboard, pizza box, whatever was flying around.
Oh my God.
And it didn't appear as though the folks who were gathering and emptying the recycle bins or whatever it is that folks are using, and it didn't appear as though they were making additional efforts to pick things up. And I don't know if it's a contractual thing or whatever it is, but you would
Wait,
think
I couldn't
as
hear
a
you.
partner of the city,
Could you hear me
that
when I
they
was on
may
mute?
Perhaps in those instances, lend a helping
No, I
hand to
can't
us
hear you.
here in Worcester, Mr. Chairman. So if there's any way, and it's not an order, that
still
we
can't
can
hear you.
kind of explore some of that as well, it would be great. But I think this will go a long way for us.
I
Thank you.
honestly can't. Can anyone else hear Travis? I can't
No.
hear him.
I don't hear him at all.
Mr. Chairman, I have reservations about delaying the trash day, just because it's so hard to get the message out. I mean, it's so hard to get the message out now when we have a snow
I hear you
day,
great.
we have even
You
holidays.
brod's still broken.
It's so hard to get the message out. And what happens is in some of our urban neighborhoods where they won't get the message, the stuff will be out there an extra day. You know, I received a ton of calls and emails and text messages about litter, you know, the trash recycling on Friday, because Friday, a big part of District 3 is Friday. And you know, I remember saying to one friend, who was a friend of mine, that sent me this long text message. I said to her,
You're back.
Screenshot from my doorbell, my Ring doorbell, of one of my neighbors picking up stuff that was in my yard. And I said that was what a good neighbor looked like. And and I did the same thing for him earlier in the day when I saw things blowing. And the reality is, Mr. Chairman, is that the message is still not out there, that people don't need to overload one bin. And Mr. Chairman, we should take a good look at this, whoever sold us these bins with the covers, because what happened to the covers? I mean, Casella, not only won't
Your
they
fucking
pick
guys
up
tossed the shit out of
Councilor
them.
King talked about picking up the items that are right next
You
to
could
the
just
bin.
put things down,
multiple
fellas.
times
Just to
every year.
throw it
And I've
across
been
my
told by city
friggin' driveway.
administrations that it's not in their contract and they refuse to do it. It's just not in their contract. So maybe next time Casella's contract is up, maybe you should put it in the contract. And if something's right next to the bin, right there, that they should pick it up. Not that they should go chase it around the
Oh, my
neighborhood,
God.
but they should pick it up if it's right there. And Mr. Chairman, what's up with
How
these
can you
bins?
how can you do
Covers-
this
is
like
anybody
every
know where the
week
covers
for
are
a
now?
decade like
Have
George
they
Russell?
been run over? Have they been flattened?
Andy, what are you talking about? They were connected. They were connected by the finest
These bins?
zip cord or whatever the hell they
Is
could
there a
find.
way of getting more
The zip cord, the zip tie that
Zip
was
tie.
strong, the zip tie was stronger than the plastic of the cover. So when they fucking whipped it around, it broke the cover instead of the zip tie.
Will you explain to me how the cops can use those very same zip ties on people's hands, whip them around, and they don't just break off?
Not me. Not me.
$600,000
That's what I
on those
do.
bins with the
I'm
covers.
Mr. Twist.
And Casella's
Could never
drivers
zip tie
told
me.
them,
You could never hope
"Pick
to
'em
zip tie
in,
me.
whatever." Here we are, a couple of years later, and they're
The,
jumping.
the locations van on a film set is filled with zip ties. I just practice breaking
To
out
the
of them.
council, I'm on the Friday route, so my trash was flying everywhere. I was running around. You could probably see me in my Ring camera running around trying to pick up trash because I went through that as well. We had submitted a
I would love
report
to
this
see that.
council
That would
body
be good
in
content.
regards to the conditions of these bins.
With the
And
Yakety
it was
sax
part of
playing?
as part of the review that we're going to do through the Zero Waste Master Plan. John O'Dell presented that report a few months back. We're also pursuing litigation.
The overlap between
potential
like
litigation with
Seinfeld
the
episode
company that
materials
sold us these
and
bins.
what the city
There is
council
a
chooses
issue
to
with
go
the-
like an hour long
during
about
the
is
pandemic,
like
there was an issue
it's
and
like a
shortfall
circle.
in regards to a certain
Like
chemical
like
that we
Seinfeld
needed
can make
to
an entire
make the bins
episode
a little
out
bit
of
stronger,
this
and
get
that
as
has
much done
impacted
as the
a lot
Worcester
of the
City
bins
Council is doing.
that we kind of see right now.
When it's windy, the
But
the
wins that
the
happened on
trash it blows
Friday,
all
I had
around.
to cover a
Bend it
hydrant
over
and
and picking up the trash.
because it fell and it just flied anywhere. I think there's something that we can consider here.
Eric, you
We
say you
have
don't want
been
to
in
kink shame,
discussions with
and yet.
Casella in terms of their contracts and future contracts as well. But
You
that's something that we
intentionally
definitely
mistake
consider
his
in terms
OnlyFans
of
for his
scheduling
Feetly.
and what that could potentially look like. We know that
Or the other way
this,
around.
this Friday was
Come
tough,
on,
and
brother.
I live in the east side, and so I saw a lot of that trash everywhere. So
East
we're definitely
side.
going to need to take a hard look and see if there's other. The Zero Waste Master Plan is going to look at the potential of bins.
I like how they
We're
pretend every
gonna
time
look at
there's
the
weather
idea of
that
42
there isn't
gallons
just
versus
rubbish
84
flying
gallons.
around Worcester
Right
on
now,
any just
currently, in
given
the city
day
of
that
Worcester,
doesn't involve trash pickup.
Yeah,
Yes, we can
there's been a
communicate, we need to
plastic
figure out
bag
more
in
ways to
one of the
communicate.
trees
We've done
next to my
a great job in
apartment
communicating out to the
for
public.
as long as I've lived
Figure
here.
out more ways to do that if we need to move more
It
advertising.
flies like a flag in the
But
breeze.
most residents need to know
The
that you
insane
don't need
amount
to
of
use
other
a bin.
people's
You
recycling
can
that
also
blows
use a
into my
separate bin. As long as
yard
it's up to 32 gallons,
every single
you
week.
can use a separate bin to put your stuff into it. You don't have to use a city bin. So I think we need to do a better job. The city provided a bin, but doesn't mean you're only subject to that particular bin. You can use other bins, and you can purchase them at any hardware store.
You can even steal them from your neighbors when they're away at work.
As well, because I know
Write your
some-
address on it. This was mine the whole time.
But
And
we're
just
gonna look
remember,
at this
folks,
as part of the Zero Waste Master Plan, but we'll also look
can't recycle
at
pizza
this
boxes.
potential option and try to bring it in a short order.
Nope.
Well,
everyone still
can
does.
if you hot glue. If you hot glue 5 of them together, you got yourself a
Thank you,
bin.
Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I agree with Councilor King. I think we need to be able to
It's too strong for a Worcester City recycling bin.
Wind's gonna be here. There's literally no way around it, especially with the wind blowing that bad. So I had my meeting with Commissioner Westerling, and one of the things that I had asked him, if it's possible, I know these, obviously we talked about the bins and the issues with the bins, but it's also hard to be able to get yourself.
You all
a new
thought we
bin.
were ending before 11.
My
We have
bin
3 hours of bin
is
talk.
like getting delivered, and it's barely doing its job.
We're doing bin talk again.
But I had suggested that some of the drivers, with technology now, they could just have it on their an iPad or whatever.
I wonder if there's like an AI or something that could do
Such street needs a new one.
like a breakdown of time spent on topic, like over like the 10 years of city council meetings. And recycle bins would easily be the longest, like the biggest slice of the pie.
Yeah, and then right behind that is trash bags.
Right, and then rats. The things that they have the least control over and have made the least progress on.
You and I have talked about this, city manager, about.
It sounds to me like it's the edit I leave that's really obvious that I want the people to notice so that I can get a bunch of shit that I don't want them to notice. It's just the lowest hanging fruit.
And then, yes, definitely, I think it's important to connect with Casella or whoever else is in charge of picking up the trash, just to, whatever's around, that has to get picked up to help us out. And then, obviously, maybe we can get some more help with the residents of the neighborhood. But again, when it's windy, that's just out of our control. So we really got to find a way to set it a different day or create bigger bins.
We gotta put it on days when there's no wind.
Thank you.
Okay.
Send that to the,
So stop doing it on
manager.
Tuesdays, the
All in
windiest
favor of
day.
so ordered. We have
Just gotta do trash on different days besides wind days.
resolutions. The City Council, City of Worcester, does hereby support and recognize the march.
Yeah, and I don't appreciate how it's always boyfriend's job to take out the trash. I think that girlfriends should also take out the trash every once in a while.
And residents to observe.
I don't know. We live in an equal household. Boyfriend, girlfriend, both do trash.
Happenings that honor the many achievements of.
This is a boyfriend-only trash house.
Girlfriend
And-
preps trash in this household. Make sure that I get all the stuff in the back of the
Realize
fridge.
that
But
Worcester
boyfriend takes out the trash.
History Month, and actually Women's History Month around the country, really dates back to March 8th.
I was talking to, I pick up
in
Worcester very well a little bit ago, and he was saying that DPW has to buy city trash bags.
In New York City.
Like when they do a cleanup, they still have to buy special trash
Mr.
bags.
Chairman, the resolution reads, Women's History Month is recognized
crazy.
nationally to
The
increase
stupidest city ever.
awareness and acknowledge around
Just
the
a farce of a
contributions of
place,
women
you know?
and what they have made throughout history. Women of every race, class, and ethnic background served as early leaders in the forefront of every major
Please say
progressive
something
social
turfy.
change
Please say something
movement.
turfy.
And
Please.
whereas women have been leaders not only in securing
Whereas
their
women
own
have
rights
been
and
leaders.
suffrage and equal opportunity, but also the abolishment movements, emancipation movement, and the industrial labor movement, the civil rights movement, and other movements, especially in the peace movements, which create a more fair and just society for all. And whereas the first National Women's Rights Convention occurred in the city of Worcester in 1850.
Suffrage.
which
I
resolved
suffrage every
for
time I hear Candy
equality
talk.
before the law without
And whereas I
distinction of
voted
sex or
against
color.
mildly
Whereas
regulating
the
crisis
chamber in
pregnancy
which
centers.
The City Council of the City of Worcester conducts its business dedicated in the memory of Worcester's own Esther Allen Howland, one of the first American woman entrepreneurs. Now therefore be it resolved, the City Council of the City of Worcester does hereby support and recognize March of 2025 as Women's History Month in the City of Worcester. And be it further resolved that the City Council
Did you
of the
hiss
City
at
of
her?
Worcester does hereby call upon public officials, community members, and residents to observe in celebration of Women's History Month by participating in the
movement,
various happenings that honor the
Right
many
up until
achievements of
2001.
women throughout
We were all about
history.
peace. We're all about peace.
Thank you,
Right
Mr.
up until.
Thank you.
Well, where were you?
Followed by Council Tooman, followed by Council Hyde.
I got a phone call.
Oh, you want to sign on?
Freedom isn't free, baby.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I do want to sign on, and I also want to note that the mayor has helped make history as well. The first.
The sheriff in Twin Peaks.
Being the first potato to be mayor.
And all left-handed women, I might add. But I think that's great that you've continued to support women in our community, and I'm very honored to be here standing with the author of this and my other colleagues on the City Council, Donna Clorio, Patel Haji, and Jenny Pasillo, and we're grateful to be reelected and elected to this august body. Thank you very much.
August body? Are you kidding me? Oh my God! What
You know
universe
what?
do you live in?
It's coming. I got to get my August body together.
Women's movement, particularly
Beach season, baby.
August body.
So thank you for bringing this forward.
We could release it.
I wish I had a hand grenade. I'd pull the pin
wanna
right now.
But I also want to highlight a few things that I think women
Hey,
across
Kay
the
would just make you take it
are
out.
still struggling with. And that I want to remind the public that we have distinguished women and young women with consequence, list of accomplished women and girls in the community that have been celebrated every year by the City of Worcester's Advisory Committee on the Status of Women, and all women of all gender expressions and identities, and I just want to uplift and celebrate all of them. A few things that I struggle with as I think about the status of women, both in our community but also in the world. Some statistics that may
She's
sound
writing
rude,
down
but I think
material.
it's important to highlight.
She's working hard.
50% of women in Worcester.
Oh,
still
we
live in
we
poverty.
invited Kate Toomey to do a roast on
Women
Friday.
in Worcester and across the state are still overrepresented
kidding.
in family
Oh my
policies.
God, that'd be
In the last
amazing.
year
Really
and
would
a
be
half,
great.
6 women, including a little girl in Worcester.
Jess had a really
have
good
been
idea that we
murdered
need
at
to
the
do
hands
next
of their
year
partner,
is
husbands,
hand
or a
deliver
family
like
member.
handwritten
Women in the sex trade
invitations to all the
remain
city
vulnerable to
councilors
violence
to the
and
roast of
exploitation.
Worcester.
In 2024,
That's a really good
56%
idea.
of
You are
murders
cordially
involved
invited.
transgender and gender expansive
We
people,
request your
were
presence or
Black
some
and
bullshit like
transgender
that.
women. They continue to be targeted.
I think Kate Toomey
transphobia
didn't. I think
aided
she
and
did the
abetted
roast that
by the President of the United States with
in
his
2019
orders.
the like
Here in
the
United
official
States,
city
we
like
have
St.
seen
Patrick's Day
women's
breakfast
rights
one
to choose under
that
attack. Mothers
birthed
and
this
girls,
our version of the
victims
roast
of
because we
incest and rape,
got fucking
and
no sold.
unable to
They were so
receive
mad at
access to
us
reproductive rights,
for all the
and
jokes
their
that we made.
healthcare rights being taken away and still under attack.
Yeah, Joe
Immigrant
showed up
and
to the first
refugee
two,
women
and he
and
actually gave us a
girls
lot of
are
money.
most vulnerable killed to sexual assault,
which is nice, but
in ICE detention camps,
he should
and being raped or
just
killed
do regular
while trying
stuff.
to
That's
flee
good.
their countries due to political economic upheaval. Imagine doubting their stories. While there has been progress in advancing women's rights, it's not fast, not far-reaching enough. I took a look because March 8th was also International Women's Day. Shout out to my international sisters in Worcester who continue to show up for all of their sisters. At the United Nations
Snipe a
world's
photo.
largest
Let's see who
conference
she's
of
talking
women
to.
just this past March, Seema
Yeah, I got
Bahous,
glasses now. I'll be able to see.
who leads UN Women, cautioned that misogyny is on the rise at a time when women and girls bear the brunt of violence, poverty, and sexual gender-based violence. Meanwhile, the Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, said words which certainly apply to women leaders here in Worcester too. The masters of misogyny are gaining strength, he said, pointing to the bile hurled at women online and leaders who are happy to throw equality to the wolves. Lastly, I want to draw attention to a consistent trend reported and according to the 2024 Princeton University bipartisan study, Bridging Divides. It says that since 2020, the wave of threats towards women in office at all levels of governance has increased dramatically. Women and minority officials, minority is that word, that's not the word that I use, but that's from the report. Women and minority officials continue to disproportionately report experiencing hostility and violence compared to their counterparts. Disproportionately, more women reported worry about hostility relative to their counterparts as well. Nearly one in five women officials worry about attacks on them or their family, and significantly fewer women, particularly in BIPOC communities, are willing to participate in public activities due to the hostility compared to their male and white counterparts. Women in color particularly are significantly less likely to run for re-election, post on social media, attend events in public spaces, work on controversial topics, or go out in public
Snap those
as a
Toomey
result
pics.
of hostility. Happy Women's History Month to the women in Worcester and across the board, still pushing forward despite the gender backlash. And in the words of Seema Bahous, again, who leads UN Women, we are not afraid of the pushback, and we will never back down. Happy History Month.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to take a roll call on the resolution. Roll call.
Councilor Bergman?
Yes.
Councilor
Big brother,
Gloria?
I believe we looked
Councilor
at the back
Gier?
of your head.
Councilor King?
Yes.
Councilor Moore Carlson?
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen? Councilor Ojeda?
Yes.
Councilor Pasillo?
Yes.
Councilor Russell?
Yes.
Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
Mayor Petty?
Yes. That the City Council of City of Worcester does hereby support and recognize March 2025 as Irish American Heritage Month in the City of Worcester. Councilor
Oh my
Toomey.
God, here we go.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
As it reads.
The first Irish came pre-famine in 1718, prior to the famine years of 1845. They came to a political and social economic discrimination. They were called Pappas, and barred, believe it or not, barred from walking on Main Street, God bless you, by the Yankees. They lived in quote-unquote shanty towns on the east side. Worcester was ethnically polarized. Rooms for rent, no Irish need apply. In 1854, the Know Nothing Party filed petitions to keep Worcester free from Irishes. And that was a quote. The Irish came in 1824 to build the Blackstone Canal, and it was completed in July 4th in 1826, which completely changed.
I swear she got that coat
The
from
canal
the set of
turned
Twin
the
Peaks.
city of Worcester into a city,
That is the
largely
sheriff's
due
coat.
to the backbreaking work performed by the Irish building the canal. They built a small farming community into a center of innovation and factories and commerce. As a matter of fact, when the canal was finished,
They've built a center
it was
of
the same day
innovation. What are you
that
talking
John
about?
Adams and Thomas Jefferson died. It was the 50th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. By 1901, Worcester elected its first Irish Catholic mayor, Philip O'Donnell, and the Irish American population reached 35%
Bringing shame to the name.
of the city's population. the Ancient Order of Hibernians became a very powerful political and social organization, changing the future
And now
of
we have the police.
city by doing so. And I'm very proud of my Irish heritage, as I know you are, and those of us who claim it here on the council. And I
Ask them
think it's
hard-hitting
important to
questions.
remember that we all came here looking for freedom and for support and community and a better way of life. And I'm very grateful to be standing here under their on their shoulders. So thank you.
Under their boot.
Thank you. We'll take a roll call. Roll call.
Council Bergman? Yes. Council Calorio?
So funny, no one's touching that one.
Council King?
Yes.
Council Merrill Carlson? Yes. Council Nguyen? Council Ojeda?
Yes.
Council Pasillo?
Yes.
Council Russell? Yes. Council Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty?
Miss,
Yes.
not read. It said, be it further resolved that the city council does hereby encourage the city manager to produce a list of information and sites the city residents can view, highlighting the history of the Irish culture in the city, inclusive of lectures, movies, websites, etc., to broaden the scope of the city's residents' understanding of the Irish culture and impact of the Irish community has had on a growing city. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Wait,
we are on
in this
communication with the
Cine 2
city
Nerdle
Wi-Fi,
game,
transmission
oh,
information,
never mind.
communication, and notification from the
I'm
Worcester
playing a
Timely
game right now,
System.
and it's
City
annoying to
Council
me.
provided cost
I'm
of
not sure
living
if I like this.
COLA adjustment to which retirees are 3% of the COLA base effective July 1st, 2025. We'll send that to MO. Those in favor, opposed, so ordered. Communication to City Clerk, transmitting information, communication of the Rule 14 of the City Council concerning information that any ruling of the chair should be subject to appeal by motion of any city councilor. I guess we'll send that to MO. All those in favor, opposed, so ordered. Transmitting a request and review of approval of the authorized city manager to submit the attachment statements of interest to Mass School Building Authority that was approved by the Worcester School Committee at their February 6, 2025 meeting. Roll call.
Council Bergman?
Yes.
Council Calorio?
Yes.
Council Hargier?
Yes.
Council King?
Yes.
Council Merrill Carlson? Council Nguyen? Council Ojeda?
Yes.
Yep, Aaron, go brag.
I think Council Ojeda, you have to recuse yourself.
Yes, I have to recuse myself.
Council
Please put that
Pasillo?
on the
Yes.
record.
Council Russell?
Yes.
I'm reading an interesting
Toomey?
article
Yes.
about
Mayor Petty?
some
Yes.
historians believe that
Nay,
the
Batista City
Irish
manager
need not
showing
apply as
information communication
exaggerated,
of an open meeting complaint
that it
to
wasn't as
Education
common
Committee.
as-
You can send that to MO along with education for a combined meeting, which is a suggestion.
I
Council
think
King?
that that's
Yeah, can
probably
we take
pretty
this
right.
along with the other one pertain, is that the only one?
That's the only one, yeah.
So I had an order under suspension,
Oh, you did last week?
I believe.
Let me look. Hang on.
Plus, the Irish did it to the Italians the first chance they got.
No, there's nothing on the suspension.
Like, they.
Is it the,
Whatever.
Might have been the meeting before, maybe?
maybe it was. Yeah, I'd like
Okay,
to-
well, I
to
won that
speak on,
game.
What item? This item.
But I don't like one thing about it. In the classic game, they let you
Thank you,
sit
Mr.
name the
Chairman.
same movie twice, and that's illegal to me.
This is in response to my order, correct?
That should be
Mr. Chair,
not allowed.
administrations at the
And
same-
they let you reuse that actor too.
Mr. Manager?
Through the chair to the council, yes, that's correct.
But 29 rounds.
In that particular order was a request, any documentation that was going to be
I
sent
thought I
forward,
walked him into a trap. I got him into a
regarding
Muppets
an
hole.
alleged open meeting
Oh, a
law
Muppets hole.
violation,
But then
just for
he
public
played. I was
purposes.
trying to get him to play the Muppet Christmas
I have
Carol,
a
so that I could play an
question
old
to the
Michael
chair,
Caine. I played Get
to the
Carter,
solicitor.
and
Madam Solicitor?
I figured he doesn't know anybody else from Get Carter. Who the fuck knows somebody else from Get Carter? And then he played another
chair,
Michael
to the
Caine movie.
solicitor.
That's not cool. You need to
In
go off
your
another
review of
actor.
This matter, was there any determination that there was intentional violation that occurred?
Oh, wait, this
of,
is interesting.
Open meeting law. Mr. Chairman, with regards to this particular report, I requested this report for transparency purposes. My understanding
Not for
through the chair
vengeance
to
purposes.
the administration is that this is under review by the Attorney General's office. Is that correct, through the chair?
Madam Solicitor?
Through the chair to the councilor, this response was sent to the Attorney General's office, but they do not automatically review it. If the complainant requests a review, they can decide whether to look into it or not.
Thank you. So it sits with the Attorney General at this time. Through the chair to the administration, send any action, the recommendation here is to refer this to committee. Any action that committee takes will not have an impact on the decision by the Attorney General, is my understanding. Could you confirm that through the chair?
Madam Solicitor?
Through the chair, that's correct.
Mr. Chairman, I certainly look forward to whether or not the Attorney General holds a hearing, comes back with any substantive finding in this regard. As I stated earlier, there was no intent here to deceive or hide. This was simply, Mr. Chairman, an attempt to stand up for children and to stand with children, Mr. Chairman. You know, the spirit of this, what I've been taught for many years, is if there's something before your committee, you cannot have any sort of take on that. There may be some expansiveness here. Through the chair to the administration, to the solicitor, is there an exemption for public statements relative to this matter that perhaps could be applicable through the chair?
Madam Solicitor?
Through the chair, there's not an exemption per se, but the Attorney General has opined in the past that a statement of a political purpose from one member of a committee was not an open meeting law violation.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, this statement that went out, again, was in support of young people and their families. This was no attempt to move any sorts of curriculum or anything like that, which is under the purview of the school committee, not the city of Worcester. And Mr. Chairman, in addition to that, as you've heard, there's really no impact on the Attorney General sending this to committee. Mr. Chairman, my recommendation would be that we file this and we wait to hear from the Attorney General. I'm extremely concerned, you know, that moving forward and trying to perhaps impact through public discourse any determination by the Attorney General would be helpful. And further, you know, we need to have all the information. It would be petty to move forward with, you know, any sort of rush to judgment in regards to myself or anybody else that's been named in this. There's a process in place, and that due process should play out, you know, and to have further deliberation on this matter will not impact the outcome. And as such, Mr. Chairman, I'm asking this to be filed.
Okay. Councilor, before I just from a procedural standpoint, I thought in the report that the AG wanted to go to committee. Am I wrong on that? Or?
Mr. Chairman, that's a point of order. Are you
I'm not
debating?
I'm not debating the issue. I'm just asking procedurally how we move forward as a council, which I can do.
That's not a procedural question, Mr. Chairman.
There it is. Councilor Hygia?
Yeah, I guess I need a little bit of clarification. It's my understanding that the open meeting law is very clear, that when a alleged complaint comes through, and by the way, I have zero problems to discuss this in the Education Committee. If there is any issues that need to be rectified, correct any conflict of interest purpose, I agree with Councilor King's assessment. I'm not going to litigate that here because that's not the appropriate body, but my point is the Education Committee is the public body that is alleged to have broken the open meeting law, and there's the concerns of 2 residents that were brought forward. So why is this then going to 2 public bodies, the Joint Committee in Education and MLO, when the open meeting law says 30 days prior to the filing of a complaint, the body who is alleged to have had issues, alleged in the complaint, needs to be the one to respond to them.
Madam Solicitor?
Through the chair, so the committee is, so the City Council is a parent body of the committee. The City Council as a whole referred this to the Law Department to respond. I responded on behalf of the committee. The committee has a very strict purview of matters that can go within its, that can be discussed, the education committee. So that's why the suggestion here was, if this is going to be discussed, if the council wants to refer it anywhere, the appropriate place would be the MLO, because they're, MLO, sorry, because they're the ones that have the authority to discuss complaints, policies, procedures, and that's why it would be a joint committee. The education committee, although it is an alleged violation against that committee, does not have the purview to discuss the violation on its own.
But the body that, thank you, Madam Solicitor, and the body that is alleged to respond to the complaint is the one that needs to respond to the complaint. In other words, MLO is not alleged to have broken the complaint. This is not a complaint against the City Council. This is a specific complaint against the Education Committee. The open meeting law seems very clear that that body that is alleged to have had these issues should be the one to respond to the complaint, which I have zero problems with. I welcome the residents who filed the complaint as well. And when the determination from the Attorney General's office comes, I'm happy to see that as well. That's not the point. I'm not making a point about litigating the issue itself or the nature of it. I am questioning why this has to go to another body.
Madam Solicitor?
Through the chair, it does not have to go. You can file it now. I have responded on behalf of the body, meaning the committee and the council as a whole. So the response has already gone to the complainant and to the Attorney General's office. If you or the committee would like to further discuss it or discuss a open meeting law, then you can have it go to the committee. At this point, you could file the matter and you could wait to hear back from the Attorney General if you hear back from them, and at that point have another meeting. You can discuss it at the City Council.
But we're talking about the OML
This
complaints
was just a
about the
suggestion.
education subcommittee.
Okay, so if I heard you correctly, what you have recommended is a suggestion and not a requirement. And the action that this council can take based on that is to file this and wait for the determination of the Attorney General's office, which will then go to the Education Committee for discussion.
Through the chair, I would recommend that you have it at the City Council whole if you don't want to send it to the committee, because the committee on its own cannot discuss a violation.
But doesn't the open meeting law say that a written complaint with the public body, is the one that needs the opportunity to remedy the situation? So if the Education Committee is the body that has been alleged to have had the issue, then we should be the body to then remedy it.
Through the chair, I would suggest that you do that at the City Council, the larger parent body, because of the authority given to the Education Committee and your rules.
Through the chair, has this practice of the city before, when we've had complaints against committees, has this always been the practice, or?
Through the chair, I'm not sure if anything has gone to a committee to be discussed.
So my understanding is that when complaint against open meeting law violations that pertain to the entire body, the City Council body, have gone to MLO in the past, because it's the whole entire body that is alleged to have broken the open meeting law. And so I bring this back to the point that in this case, it's not the City Council. The specific complaints is focused on one particular subcommittee. And the subcommittee should be receiving the complaint and then discussing it and providing a remedy, which is what I understand the open meeting law to say.
Through the chairs, that process has already happened, and it happened at the City Council as a whole. So what you're talking about has already happened. You voted to refer it to the Law Department. We responded. This memo in the last paragraph is just a recommendation for further discussion if the body, the Education Committee, wants to further discuss the open meeting law.
So sorry, Madam Solicitor, go ahead and continue.
The committee is limited in its authority what to do. That's why you can do this all at the council.
So I'm just going to repeat again, the recommendation and not the requirement of the law is that this goes to the joint committee, but the law does not outline that.
Through the chair, correct.
Thank you.
Okay, so Council Pasol.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you to the city solicitor, what is best practice? Like, what do other municipalities do in situations like this?
Through the chair to the councilor. So this is unique to Worcester because it's a committee of the City Council. And every other board or commission that we have, we send it directly to that board or commission. the committees of the council do not have any authority to even place a matter on their agenda unless it's referred by the city council. So that's why this is unique to Worcester. But the body, the education committee, can discuss it at this meeting, at the city council meeting as a whole.
Okay, so through the chair to Madam Solicitor, so basically, we could either discuss it here on the floor as one choice.
Looks like Jenny went to Warby Parker without
It
you,
could be a joint meeting
Bryan.
between MLO and Education Committee, which is what this is suggesting.
Yeah, we had an appointment.
And then
she
ultimately, regardless
just
of what we do
fucking went.
here, it goes to the Attorney General.
Through the chair, it's already gone to.
I had a conflicting appointment
However, yeah,
at
they
Raising
could decide
Cane's.
not to investigate it. They could say, you've responded, where, that's sufficient, we're not going to look into the matter.
Okay. And ultimately, this is my last question. Does MLO have any oversight over, like I read the complaint in one of the residents.
We like one of them.
Open meeting law training, have a meeting.
And
so
that
does
one's
MLO
initials
have
are not
control
TE.
over another
Tony Economy. Oh.
counselor, or would it just be a discussion?
Through the chair, it would just be a discussion of either
Tony
best
took money from John
practices or
Manfredo.
the law that would then go back to the council.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
These mailers aren't
MLO
free,
would
Bill.
not require another committee to take training.
Okay, thank you.
You will be hearing from
So we have a motion to file.
Keith Linares soon.
Roll call.
Keith is cool.
Councilor
Keith is,
Bergman?
I'm excited about Keith's
Councilor
run.
Gloria?
No.
Councilor Gia?
Yes.
Councilor
I
King?
should disclose to the group
Councilor
that
Carlson?
I am working on Keith
Councilor
Linares'
Deanne?
campaign at the
Councilor
moment.
Hayda?
Hell yeah.
Keith, this
Councilor
seems like a
Pasillo?
good dude.
Yes.
Hold on.
Councilor Russell?
No.
Councilor Toomey?
No.
And Mayor Petty?
No.
Motion to hold, Mr. Chairman.
Under privilege? Okay.
Oh, all right. What was that? So that was. Did we catch how Pasillo and Ojeda voted on that one?
Was it five? It was 5-5.
We are on
I don't. 5-5. Okay.
reports of the Committee of MO, Legislative Operations, 15A to 15C, motions accept and to adopt. 15.
Are we just doing A through C right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Those in favor? Opposed? 15D to 15E, motions to accept.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to speak on D and E.
D and E. Go ahead, Councilor King.
And Mr. Chairman, I would ask if we could vote those separately. I have two different votes. Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, in the
I'm
most
showing
recent
opposition
Worcester
to
Sucks
15E.
post, there's a letter,
Well, we've seen
uh,
in this
open letter
body
from Keith
over
as,
this particular term
about
is the
why he's running.
reduction of public participation, and that doesn't simply include for the public's purposes.
The fully anti-Raising
their
Cane's
verbal
campaign.
participation. It also involves observing the council at work. We've had a reduction there, an intentional reduction by a small majority of this body, particularly as it relates to our finance committee, and reducing the
Chubler, how'd you
participation of
check? Do you have a way
councilors,
to
which reduces
rewind?
the opportunities for the public to observe said participation, Mr. Chairman. I support enhance and increase civic engagement. I've taken a look at what's done in other cities and towns and cities of this size, and I'll certainly say, that there should be some consideration.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
For increasing participation for 2 minutes.
That's actually-
in addition to 2 minutes.
I'll have to
We have folks that come before
use
us.
that
they may
myself
have one or
sometimes.
two,
I
different
forgot you could
items
do that
they
on
wanna
Twitch.
Speak on in addition to one or two items that they have spoken on. They have 2 minutes. It's just not feasible. We do have the ability to suspend the rules by a motion of the council, or by a motion by the chair in said instances. But I think what we've seen going back to 2020 or so is a significantly enhanced public participation. And, with that comes civic involvement. With that comes an understanding of local government. And anything that we can do, once again, to be more transparent and more opening, I'm supportive. So I'm in opposition to denying extending public speaking minutes to exceed 2 minutes. I don't know if it's 3, 4, or 5, but I certainly do not support not increasing it,
participatory government is important, Mr. Chairman, and as it relates to item 15D, again, as relates to speaking, we have to do what we can. This body is limited in terms of the charter. It's limited in terms of roles and responsibilities, et cetera. And I will always tread very slowly with regards to this. And I appreciate the Municipal and Legislative Operations Committee in their work, but I just wanted to be clear. The more participants, the better city we are. The more opportunities for transparency, the better city we are, Mr. Chairman, and the more informed our residents are. So I will vote to file 15D, yay, but I'd like to take 15E separate. I'm not voting to maintain the status quo. I'd love to see more civic engagement.
Okay, so 15D, all those in favor, opposed, so ordered. 15E, right now, the recommended motion is to deny. So that way, a yes vote would deny this as, I'm sorry, Councilor Bergman, you had your hand up.
I just want to say that one thing that goes unsaid, but I'll say it, is that if you have 30 minutes to speak or 60 minutes to speak, and you limit it to 2 minutes, which is what we do now, you get more people to speak. Expand it to 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. Within that same 30 minutes, it's going to be less people speaking, unless we suspend the rules consistently. So the logic of let's get more people to speak within a certain number of minutes, to me, is illogical to expand it to more minutes per person. I will say it's worked well since the 12 years I've been on the council. Is it perfect? I don't know what perfect is, but I do know that we do extend and suspend the rules when we feel it's warranted. There are some communities, by the way, that don't let you speak if you're not a resident of the city. We don't do that. Maybe we should. Maybe
We
that's
encourage it.
More efficient.
You're not clicking
There's
that
some
trouble
communities
click.
that let you
Right,
speak
right.
at the end of the meeting, not at the beginning of the meeting.
Don't fall
There's
for
no
it again.
requirement of 2 minutes. There's no requirement any specific number of minutes. So I think it works well, and I'm certainly suggesting we stick to it. And if we want to get the maximum number of people speaking, then we have to keep with the 2 minutes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Likely story troubler. Agitated, scary,
Mr.
star
Chair,
arson, no sexy.
Obviously, I take a deep dive into the public participation. It's really important to me that everyone gets the chance to speak because civic involvement is really important. It is
Jenny
you know,
walked into
something
Warby
that we do
Parker and
wanna
asked for the
foster.
librarian.
I agree that 2 minutes is good. I think it gives people time to get their point across, and ultimately, there are a lot of different ways to participate in government. You know, you can come to standing committee meetings, and that gives residents more time to engage with the standing committee. You can email, you can call, you can, you know, I go to residents' houses all the time. Like, there's a lot of different ways to get involved. I mean, I'll always vote to suspend the rules and extend the half hour. I think it's really important that no matter what, it could be 100 people saying the same exact thing. They took the time to be here, they took the time to sign online, but I do think there need to be parameters to it. And for me, 2 minutes is decent because it gives people time to speak and it lets more people speak. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor King?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, I will just respond to what was been deemed as illogical. Again, when we have someone coming in on a petition or two and they want to speak on some matters that are rather pertinent, they are informed that they have X amount of minutes to speak on whatever it is. And, you know, increasing that by a minute could be helpful. We're saying somewhat the same thing. I heard all speakers say we're open to suspending the rules, but then you get into other issues, you know, and sure, there's all sorts of ways you can participate, Mr. Chairman, but increasing it doesn't necessarily mean by a minute, perhaps, doesn't mean that there'll be less speakers. The 30-minute rule, I think we've established as a body, doesn't happen often.
Are we actually arguing how many minutes are in 30 minutes right now? And how many ways it's divisible by 5? That's the conversation we're having.
That it would allow for a little more civic involvement, Mr. Chairman. It does not mean necessarily.
Is Fred going to talk or not? That's all that matters.
Speakers, so I'll be in opposition to denying increasing public participation.
Okay, so the vote would deny, yes vote would deny it, and no vote would not to deny it. Roll call.
The fuck?
To deny it, and no vote would not, because it's right now, the motion is recommend petition to be denied. So it's a yes vote would deny.
Y'all can't deny it. I'm a fucking writer.
Council King would probably vote no, some of the people would vote yes. So thank you, but go ahead.
So, Mr. Mayor, just for clarification, a yes vote would accept.
Brian, what do you
committee's
got? Is that icy
recommendation, which is
creams?
To deny this petition.
Yep.
A no vote.
Oh,
would be,
you lucky
Not
duck.
to deny, and then you can.
This
make
is
another
Tillamook
motion if you
apple
choose.
crisp
Okay.
ice cream.
If that carries. So, Council Berg.
Yes.
Council Calorio.
Yes.
Quite good.
Council Hajji.
No.
Council
Oh,
King.
icy
No.
creams.
Council Member Carlson. Council Nguyen. Council Ojeda.
Yes.
Council Pasillo.
Yes.
Council Russell.
Yes.
Council Toomey.
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes. Motion 16A, the motion is to accept the report from Health and Human Services. All those in favor, opposed, so ordered. Reports of Committee on Public Safety, 17A and 17B, motions to accept. All those in favor, opposed, so ordered, I'm sorry. And 18A, motion to advertise the proposed ordinance. Report of the Public Works Committee. Roll call.
Council Bergman.
Yes.
Council Calorio.
Yes.
Council Hajji.
Yes.
Council King.
Yes.
Council Member Carlson. Council Nguyen. Council Ojeda. Council Pasillo.
Yes.
Council Russell.
Yes.
Council Toomey.
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Mr. Chairman,
19A to 19.
Mr. Chairman, I thought that was 17A. That was 18A. Can we
was
do a motion for
18A.
reconsideration on that so I can change my vote? I thought we were on 17A, or allow me to,
Vote no. Is that- Put it on
I'd
the
like to
regular.
reconsideration.
Okay. Motion is to reconsider.
So to reconsider 18A, Council
Yeah.
Bergman.
Yes.
Council Calorio.
Yes.
Council Hajji.
Yes.
Council King.
Yes.
Council Member Carlson. Council Nguyen.
Candy
Council
voted
Ojeda.
no.
Yes.
Council Pasillo.
Yes.
Council Russell.
No.
Council Toomey.
No.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes. Okay. Council King, you want to be recorded as a no, or?
Yeah, I had a couple of questions first through the chair. To the administration, and I apologize, I thought we were on 17A. This is 18A. Through the chair to the administration, can you speak to this particular ordinance? Because I could not find it in my packet. I'm not sure if it's there somewhere, but I could not find it. And I had some questions at the beginning. Through the chair to the administration, could you speak to any restrictions that are mentioned in the ordinance? And again, it was not in the packet.
Mr. Manager?
To the chair, to the council, my understanding is there's no restrictions in accordance to the ordinance.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, was this, I couldn't find this in the packet. So,
Hey.
okay.
Hey, Doggo.
Mr. Zeke.
So when this goes
He is
out.
not a
with
lapdog,
the
but he likes to think he
ordinance
is.
packet, I know
Boy.
it's been before previously or something, but we don't get that through the chair? Because it's not in the packet. I looked for it this weekend.
So through the chair to the council. So basically, I think my understanding of what the ordinance reads is in the body of the text.
You talking about the 3 sentences?
Well, the whole paragraph, but,
We love a big
I can
boy.
email you the full ordinance based on what the committee got in February.
Today?
Mr. Zeke?
Yes, when you request
Okay,
it.
Mr. Chairman, I'm gonna hold this. I have concerns about this, and I haven't been able to see that.
Rocket's
I believe
downstairs.
that there's a portion of that particular ordinance.
Well, we should do
that, eliminates
a video
or
about
does not
Rocket.
include
It's just
at-large
the opening to Rocket
councilors
Power,
or
but
people
with
who
him
file
edited into it.
petitions for street naming.
Him, Roman, skateboarding, and roller
Yeah.
inline
I'd
skating.
like to take a look at that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm gonna hold
Roman's the squid.
Okay, we have 19A to 19EE.
And just if we could have a motion that
Wiggity,
that
wiggity,
next
wiggity.
meeting that proposed ordinance is actually in the packet and provided, not just for the council, but for the public as well.
Those in favor, opposed, so ordered. 19A to EE, advertise proposed ordinances. Roll call.
Council Bergman.
Yes.
Council Calorio.
Yes.
Council Hajji.
Yes.
Council King.
Yes.
Councilmember Carlson. Council Nguyen. Council Ojeda.
Yes.
Council Pasillo?
Yes.
Council Russell?
Yes.
Oh, there's always
Toomey?
been two, Kimber.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes.
One's a lapdog and
19F
one's
to
not.
19 II, motion to accept and to adopt. All those in favor,
I've had Zeke
opposed, so
for
ordered.
13 years.
19J, motion is to accept. Those in favor, opposed, so ordered. It's the end of the meeting. Motion is to adjourn.
Oh, God.
Wow.
What am I gonna do with myself now?
8:22.
Wow, that's awesome.
Love
Goodness
it.
gracious.
We love to see it.
Wowie zowie.
Yep.
Oh, that's gonna go up. That didn't resize correctly. I just want to share the flyer
Oh
about
my
Caden's
God.
virtual meet and greet on March 19th from 6 to 8 p.m. Follow Caden on Instagram for that that link on that one. But what a fun, amazing.
That
This is
was
the best
nice.
meeting I've ever been to. Look at that. Look at that beautiful, beautiful future lawn sign.
That's awesome.
Super pumped to work with her.
Great work, Trav.
Well done.
Thanks, Jess, for getting me involved.
Yeah. She's a mover and a shaker, you know. Doing much more good work in Worcester politics than I ever have and ever will. I, of course, am just here to talk about pizza.
And ice cream.
Yeah, I need ice cream. Where are my Tillamook heads at?
How was the ice cream, Brian?
Oh, pretty good.
It's really good. You know, it's my favorite brand of ice cream. And they do fun limited edition flavors. And the apple crisp one it's a hit.
Ooh, apple crisp, eh?
Yeah, pretty damn good. All their stuff is good. So yeah, I mean, listen, we had some interesting moments tonight. None more interesting than Candy flatly voting no on a like a just a reconsideration vote out of courtesy that everyone else voted yes on.
Mm-hmm.
Even Christian's hated enemy Joe Petty.
Yep.
That was awesome.
Yeah, and then George Russell and Kate Toomey changed their votes because they weren't paying attention. It's fucking awesome. Yeah, that was at least they wasted our time efficiently with this meeting.
Yes. Yeah.
That's this is the business that they wanted to get back to so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Getting nothing done at all. Just hearing Kate Toomey read poorly from an AI generated script about Irish history.
Are you good, Eric? Are you talking about the skate park? You got a Wooberry fan in the chat, Brendan.
What happened? I missed.
It was this ice cream store on Highland Street. That was cool.
Some dirtbag ran it.
Piece of shit. Best thing that ever came of COVID.
Well, thank you for giving it to everybody for that skate event.
Yeah, ice cream. It was a weird ice cream flavor. You have to admit.
Coronavirus. Remember when we were calling it coronavirus? Man, those were the days.
Cardi B yelled coronavirus, and then 2 days later, when I was taking a walk, one of my neighbors just yelled coronavirus at me when I was outside.
Sick.
What an awful thing to call you.
No, I was actually going by coronavirus. I was starting a rap
That was a
career.
really weird
Poorly
time to name
timed.
yourself that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really poorly timed.
Yeah. I don't know about that. Gio, that's a pretty vanilla take if you ask me. Not to be
Chubby hubby or nothing.
America doing pretty good. I saw somebody posted something similar to this, but what is the largest gap between like a person's like actual coolness and the coolness of their branded product? And is there any bigger than Jimmy Fallon and his ice cream flavor? One universally beloved, the other one, he's fine by me.
Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we love to get out before 9 p.m.
I love it.
Fantastic.
This is what they want. This is exactly what they desire, is to have everyone not paying attention and nothing actually of substance happening. So congrats. That's what they're gonna try and give us for the rest of the year, because it is an election year. So everyone's going to hibernate as much as possible. And so it's our job. I think it's our job to make
Go to
that
bed?
not work for them.
Yeah.
Not tonight. I'm happy tonight.
Tonight
But
is
another-
good.
But at other times, I think we should
Yeah.
ruin their timing.
Well, next week's going to be fun with the It's a full meeting of DOJ stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it'll be fun to revisit that. We haven't talked about that in any sort of substance in a while. Still so crazy. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. But we got a great week coming up. Obviously, if you're free on Friday night, you should be coming to the Roast of Worcester. Check it out. It's gonna be a blast.
No, it's just the 18th, Troubler. Sorry. They moved the other meeting to the 25th. It's the 18th.
Yeah. Saturday the 15th at the Hotel Vernon, the Purim Spectacular. I think we shared the link earlier in the their Eventbrite, but we'll share it tonight on the Instagram. So go to WCT3000 for that info.
I got the link right here. I'll put it in the chat.
Spelled correctly. Thank
you. Thanks, Swaro Sally. So yeah, make sure that you're following us there. We're gonna stream it. We're gonna stream the roast on Friday. We're gonna do our same setup we've been doing the last few years. We're gonna see if it works. It's always live events for us are always just, if we get there and the Wi-Fi is working, then we are gonna do our best. So tune in for that. But it really would be great if you could come down and hang out. It's gonna be a blast.
Yeah, in person for this one is definitely the way to go.
Yeah. Let's get crazy. Let's get arrested for illegal protests against dumb mayors. So yeah, come on down and check that out. And it's fine to watch virtually. It's fine if you can't come down. That's totally fine. But as always, make sure that you're subscribed to Worcester Sucks and I Love It. BillShaner.substack.com, WorcesterSucks.email at Worcester_sucks. Again, we are WCT3000 on Instagram for all your 311-day needs. Please tune in there. Subscribe to us. Follow at Wounded Comedy as well. We have not only the roast coming up this weekend, but the Sort of Late show coming up later this month, and another edition of Hot Dog as well. Pretty packed March. In celebration of Kate Toomey Awareness Month, or whatever she was talking about earlier. We got a full March. I'm excited. The next hot dog is going to be great too. I'm very, very happy that we're doing another one very soon after the Valentine's Day show. Yeah, George, that's we encourage everybody to mask at all of our events. But maybe we'll do. It would be good to do a full hazmat suit show.
That'd be awesome.
Oh, the Bubble Boy show.
Yeah, we could do a Bubble Boy show too at some point, just to even like go even further with a good idea. I don't want to see anyone's t-shirts, so hazmat suits. Are you subscribed to us here on Twitch? I'm currently making the Discord for the Commenters Union. So subscribe to us here. That'll be a benefit of your subscription is an invite to the Worcester Council Theater 3000 Local 69 Commenters Union Discord channel, where we will be able to talk about the show, about Worcester politics, about whatever the fuck you want. I don't care.
All the pizza and ice cream.
Yeah, we'll have a pizza and ice cream. We'll have different channels for pizza and ice cream. How about that? Yeah, so make sure that you're subscribed here, and What else we got, Trev? What do you got coming up?
I'm taking a break. We
Done?
had Dirty
You-
Karen in the gallery last night.
Yes.
So I am so pumped to go to sleep because those cats don't wrap up till like 11:30.
Mhm.
But it was super fucking rad.
Yeah, Troubler, I was gonna hit you up. Yeah, so come to cool stuff. Tell the mayor he stinks on ice, and join us to raise some money for Trans Lifeline, which is a very, very important cause, especially in these times where they're trying to make it illegal to be cool. So I appreciate you guys hanging out. Thanks for hanging out every week. We love you guys so much. We'll see you next Tuesday. Goodbye.
Bye bye.